robbery football night for us to collect donations for the placing of wreaths in December. Our Vietnam Veterans Chapter members are located in the entrances of the stadium to receive your kind and generous donations. We would love for you to make a generous donation to make sure every veteran will have a wreath placed on their stone to thank them for their service, but we would accept any amount you might be willing to give. Our chapter would like to especially thank Mr. Mark Packer and his crew for allowing us to be at every robbery football game this year and also for tonight's game. Thank you in advance for your donation, and know that all veterans' families appreciate your special gift to them. Tonight is a special evening as we celebrate homecoming here on Farragut High School campus. We welcome all the fellow alumni of Farragut High School throughout the years to the game this evening. We also welcome the robbery crew for televising the game tonight. At halftime this evening, we'll have a special celebration honoring and recognizing the homecoming court of the Admirals. Please stay tuned for halftime for the special presentation. Following the game, the high school marching Admirals will perform a special program for you in the stadium. So please stick around after the game for the high school marching Admirals and their special program following this evening's contest. We want to take a moment to make a special thank you to Carlos Revez. Carlos spends his evenings here at Farragut High School taking photographs of all the athletes on both teams. So please visit crphoto.com, crphoto.com, to view some spectacular pictures, game action shots of all the Admiral and Wildcat athletes from tonight's game. There will be pictures from all the games from the season on crphoto.com. Thank you, Carlos. We appreciate you bringing the game to our phones and computers and printout all season long. Thank you, Carlos. Ladies and gentlemen, your starting lineup for the Admirals. Number 99, Owen Patowski. Number 4, Jack Plumley. Number 36, Stephen Doubleday. Number 8, Luke Dunkel. Number 20, Connor Paris. Number 42, Colt Brooker. Number 16, Noah Haig. Number 12, cornerback Zane Qureshi Smith. Number 13, defensive back, cornerback Anderson Glover. Number 0, Mason Apolategi. Number 1, safety Harrison Smith. Offensive line, number 63, Aiden Perez. Offensive line, number 50, Luca Hopper. Offensive line, number 62, Will Zooks. Offensive line, number 52, Bryson Bassett. Offensive line, number 73, Connor Frankowitz. At tight end, number 45, Aaron Heatherly. Wide receiver, number 10, Max Garfield. Wide receiver, number 9, John Haskins. Wide receiver, number 13, Anderson Glover. Running back, number 24, Charlie Noble. Quarterback for the Admirals, number 3, Corbin Hobson. That was your starting lineup. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we want to introduce the Advanced Choral Ensemble. The ensemble is our premier fall audition mixed choir of 12th to 10th graders here at Farragut High School. Please rise, remove your hats, and welcome the ensemble under the direction of Dr. Sarah Beth Carroll, singing our national anthem and accompanied by the Admiral Marching Band.
It's our national anthem here from Farragut High School, getting set for Oak Ridge High School football. The Wildcats taking on the Farragut Admirals here from Bill Clabo Field. The Wildcats trying to win their 9th consecutive game of the year. The Wildcats are undefeated in region play. And in a moment, we're going to go down to the field to Alex Myers as we are live on the radio right now. Mike Sheehan has joined us here. Mike, your thoughts on the ball game?
I look for this to be a pretty good ball game. You know, I know they don't have the best record in the world, but if you look at their schedule, they have one of the toughest schedules of any team in our region, without a doubt. So they've always been good, and we've always struggled, seem like, when we come over here. But tonight, hopefully, the Wildcats can put it all together. Cut down some on their penalties and play a really good ball game tonight. Hopefully, we can come out with a big victory because we need this for the region.
It is senior night here at Bill Clabo Field. The crowd is filing in. Right now, Mike, I was kind of disappointed looking across the field there at our crowd. It's not the biggest Oak Ridge crowd I've seen. We used to travel so much better. I know the game is on television and such, but it's a little chilly. I'm just kind of disappointed in the crowd.
Yeah, I am too, but it's just the nature of the beast. Pretty chilly out here tonight. It's supposed to be down in the low 50s, maybe into the 40s by the time we actually get out of here. But hopefully this crowd can pull us through. Pretty good student section over there. They're always loud and proud, so it's good to see the student section here. This is going to be a good ball game, David. Hopefully the Wildcats can put it all together tonight. They played enough last week. The penalties is what really hurt us last week more than anything else.
Let's go down to Alex Myers. I think he's got an interview down on the field.
Thank you, David. We're on the sideline. Give us just 1 second. Coach Ring is walking with us. We're going to give him just a moment, show his team where to go. And as we walk, Coach, you just had your team talking in the locker room. What was your message to them before this big game?
Number one, we just want to play with box physicality on offense or defense, in the line of scrimmage. They're pretty veteran up there on the offensive line and defensive line, so it's going to be a physical football game. Offensively, we talked to them about just kind of executing, cleaning up mistakes, not shooting ourselves in the foot. I guess the biggest thing we said, don't let Oak Ridge beat Oak Ridge. Like, make Farragut earn the victory. Don't self-destruct to where you beat yourselves, and we hope we can do that tonight.
Thanks, Coach, for giving us a moment. Appreciate you. Good luck tonight. David?
Thanks a lot, Alex. The captains for the two teams are about to stroll out to the center of the field. It's Oak Ridge and Farragut live on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. We're going to try to get Alex to go out on the field and get toss to the coin. I hesitate to take a break, but why don't we take a break? We'll be back with the captains and the toss of the coin in 30 seconds. The Wildcats are getting ready to come out of their dressing room. They are poised behind the sign. They're going to run through the cheerleaders onto the field here. Wildcats trying to go a perfect 9-0. The Wildcats have not had a perfect undefeated season since 2014. They've got a good Farragut team to do it, to get past tonight, and a great Maryville team on Thursday. But right now the Wildcats, with a win tonight, Mike, will have an opportunity to host the first round of the playoffs.
Well, that's outstanding. That's why it's so important that we win this football game. Captains for tonight's game are number 38, J.T. Gormley. 15 is Eli Pearson. 33, Amani Bishop. And 74, big, strong Eli Young.
And we're waiting for the, this is a televised ball game, so we'll have a lot of timeouts during the course of the game. And right now the Admirals are poised. They're coming down the steps to our left. We've got a good student section, as you mentioned, Mike. That's always fun to see as Farragut has come onto the field. Farragut has struggled this year. Their record is not great, but Coach Rain told me on the pregame just a minute ago, he said, don't take their record, don't look at their record and think that's the kind of team they are. They've had a really tough schedule, as you and I talked about.
Absolutely they did. And it's not it doesn't get any better tonight. Oak Ridge is only ranked 4th in the state. So if they come out and play what they're capable of, it could be one-sided. But then again, you never know what you're going to get. So that's why they play the game. It's going to be very interesting. Wildcats look fired up, David. I like the enthusiasm they're showing here on the sideline as they come onto the field. And a good crowd for the Admirals, as always. There's a lot of kids that go to school over here. It's senior night here. Also, they're having the homecoming queen at the halftime. So it's a big deal. A lot of Farragut fans here tonight.
You know, the Wildcats did not play their best ball last week against Hardin Valley. I know they're hoping to have a bounce-back ball game.
I hope so, too. From what I hear, and on the show last night, crunch time, everybody seemed a lot more together. They know they didn't play well, and they came out a little bit flat. They've had another great week of practice from what I understand, and hopefully they'll come out fired up and get things started off on the right foot tonight here at Farragut.
Here in a moment, the captains are going to stroll out, and you talked about who the captain is. Alex is still down on the field. He's got a mic. We're going to try to get the sounds of the official telling exactly who wins the toss. But I'm excited for this game. I talked with Coach Rang about this earlier, that, the Farragut, in my opinion, is the rival that I want to be. I know the players say Clinton, but when I was in school, and I know Farragut, we didn't play it when you were in school, but when I was in school, Farragut was the team.
Oh, yeah.
Whoever won that game went to the playoffs. You
That's
remember
right.
only one team from each district went back in the day, and to me, Farragut is the rivalry.
Yeah, they have been a rivalry for a long time, and they've always been such a much bigger school population-wise than Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge is starting to catch up, but Farragut's always been a team to be reckoned with. And the Eddie Courtney years were brutal for the Wildcats.
Let's go back down to Alex Myers. He's about to have the toss of the coin. Alex, talk about the mood of the Wildcats, and you got the captains.
Yeah, kind of, not a lot of silliness going on. I got down here towards the end of warm-ups, but it seemed very businesslike, which I think is a very good sign always. So we'll see. I think, like Coach Rang said a moment ago, that the intention is clear. Come out here, handle business, and don't beat yourselves.
Shake hands. All right, gentlemen, Oak Ridge, you're our visiting team tonight, so you're going to call the coin toss, okay? This is going to be heads, and this is going to be tails. If I drop it, we'll do it again, okay? What are you going to call? Tails. What did he say he's going to call? Tails. That's right, tails. Here we go. It is heads. You guys have won the toss, okay? What do you want to do? You want to receive? So you guys are going to kick. Which direction do you want to kick? You want to kick this way. Okay. You guys line up right here.
So, David Clary, there you have it. Farragut wins the toss. They elect to receive. Oak Ridge will be kicking left to right as we see it in the press box, kicking east to west. David?
Thanks a lot, Alex. We are going to take a quick timeout. We'll be back with the kickoff of Oak Ridge and Farragut following this 60-second timeout.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. Not bad at all. Can you fix that for me?
What's that?
I got it off channel somehow.
I got to talk.
92.7.
Welcome back once again to Bill Claybo Field here. The Wildcats getting set to receive, actually kick off to the Farragut Admirals. The Wildcats will have Eli Pearson to do the honors. It's a cold night, and I know kickers like to have a little bit warmer temperatures. I can't imagine. It's kind of like hitting a baseball when it's 30 degrees. It kind of hurts off your hands. I'm sure it hurts off your toe, and we'll see what Eli can do.
Yeah, but Eli's got a really strong leg and I'm sure he's got on maybe an extra pair of socks tonight. Hopefully keeping us warm as the kickoff is underway.
Here it is. He hits it long and deep. That's going to be a touchback, and the Admirals will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. The line of scrimmage will be the 20-yard line. The quarterback for them, he's a good one. Coach, he's a junior player, stands about 215 pounds. And the Wildcat defense, which has been so good all season long, giving up, I mean, one of the top defenses actually in the entire state of Tennessee. Are you out of breath there, Alex, coming from the field?
You know, I thought I would be more so than I am, but walking up 72 steps plus an extra 16 in the press box at home games, I think I'm finally in condition in week 9.
Very good first down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 20-yard line. They're heading towards facing Knoxville. If you're listening to us on the radio, handoff to the running back, and he moves the ball forward for about a gain of about 4. The Wildcats and Admirals. The first game was played over at Old Farragut Field back in 1977. The Wildcats lead the all-time series, 32 wins to 18 defeats, and most of those 18 wins for Farragut have come in the last 20 years. Unfortunately, the Wildcats dominated the early part of the series. Second down and 6 yards to go. The ball just shy of the 25-yard line. Hodson at quarterback. His play is halted there for a second. You want to check out the defense there for the Wildcats?
Yes, David, left to right, defensive end King Sandoval and Dominic Vasquez. Nose tackle in that 3-4 defense, Tim Walters. Linebackers, Caden Stewart, J.T. Gormley, Amani Bishop. Cornerbacks, Zayden Williams, Jarrell Jimerson, Tyree Porter, and it looks like Dylan Woody still in for Quavez Williams. Safety.
Corbin Hodson is the quarterback for the Farragut Admirals. I'm not exactly sure what the delay is. I know that I see the play clocks are working. The game clock is working at 11 minutes and 17 seconds. And now they're going to say there is a clock malfunction. So I guess other people besides just Blankenship Field have clock malfunctions.
Yeah, you know, it's the more technology gets involved with sports, in one aspect it's great, but then the more delays and things you see like this, I find that the case with replay. I don't know about you, David, but so many of these plays in college and the NFL and things like that, you do all this replay viewing just for them to come back and go, well, there's not enough evidence. You know, it's in one aspect, technology's kind of, the influx of technology is almost kind of more frustrating than anything.
So they put some more time back out on the clock. That's the Oak Ridge Wild Band across the way. Looks like we've got a pep band over there. The student section is filling in nicely. It's obviously a whiteout. I hesitated to take a break because I didn't know how long this was going to be, but what was the mood of the team when you were down there?
Yeah, it just, kind of business-like. They weren't real vocal. They looked focused. I mean, it wasn't, they looked serious and focused, but, it wasn't real boisterous. There wasn't a lot of vocal stuff going on. It just kind of seemed like they were here to handle business, and I think that's a good sign.
Here we go. It'll be second down, 6 yards to go. Officially 11:25 to play in the first quarter. Just underway from Farragut, just off the Kingston Pike or Campbell Station Road, wherever way you'd elect to come. Hobson at quarterback. He is a junior. High snap. He hands it to the running back. He tries to get outside, and he picks up a first down as he brings the ball across the 30. Went to the short side of the field. The Wildcats dropping right at the 31-yard line. First and 10, Farragut.
Yeah, he has what so many Oak Ridge backs have had over the last few years, David. He's got that forward lean. So, it was second and about 6. He got hit after a gain of about 2 or 3, but then by the time they actually got him to the ground, they were pushing him forward. And so he ended up falling across that line to gain for a first down.
Farragut puts up 2 receivers, far to the left of the quarterback, 2 to the right, 1 single running back. And check that number for me there. 4-man front for the Wildcats. First and 10. Farragut, he's going to pass. Pass is going to be caught. No, it's not. It's going to be dropped. The Wildcats defended that well. Little screen pass and incomplete.
Yeah, Jarrell Jimerson sniffed that thing out. When the quarterback, just a quick snap, as soon as he got the ball, he was turning left to fire. It was a one-man route. That was the only place he was going with that ball. But before he even wound up to throw it, Jimerson saw the blocker coming up, saw the play setting up, and sniffed that one out. Tremendous play by Jarrell.
Second down, 10 yards to go. The ball's at the 32-yard line of the Admirals. First quarter just underway. Farragut, 1 lone running back. The Wildcats put 4 on the front. Actually, if I creep up to the line, handoff goes to the back, and he is blasted right at the line of scrimmage. The Wildcats penetrate and drop him right at the line. Might have even lost a yard.
Yeah, tremendous call by the Oak Ridge defensive coaches, Coach Hawkins and that staff. they called a blitz for Wayne, and you could see him coming up from that safety position as soon as that ball, and he didn't do it too early, which is important because they didn't give Farragut a chance to see what was going on and switch out of that play. He went up late after they had already decided, and he sniffed it out immediately.
Are you still out of breath there, Alex?
A little bit.
I thought so. 10 minutes, 13 seconds to play in the first quarter. It'll be 3rd down, 11 yards to go. The ball back at the 31-yard line. We've got two kind of a tight formation. Play clock is not functioning now. It's stuck on 31. Here comes the quarterback. He is in trouble. He throws a pass. It's incomplete. Wildcats had a ton of white shirts around him. They couldn't get to him. He delivered a pass off target, and the Wildcats will get the ball. They'll be forced to punt.
Yeah, somebody got in there early. I think it may have been a blitzing J.T. Gormley. He wasn't able to get to him, but he forced the quarterback to slide up in the pocket, and who was there? Big Tim Walters. And so as soon as he slid up, he felt 14 coming towards him, and he immediately just kind of had to, under duress, just throw that one downfield, and it was really nowhere near anybody.
They say we're ahead of the picture once again for whatever reason, so we'll try to work on that again. I don't know what you did to fix that last week. 4th down, 11 yards to go.
There will be more stairs involved, David. I'm already out of breath.
Here comes the punt, lots of pressure. They was close to blocking it. Here comes the punt. It's going to be a nice roll for the Admirals, rolling dead inside the 12 down to the 12-yard line, maybe the 13. That's where Oak Ridge will take over. 1st down, 10 yards to go. And the senior quarterback, Blaine Stansberry, will come out on the field.
Yeah, and Blaine's got to be smart here because I think it's the play clock that's not working correctly. So if so, he's got to be communicating with that official in the backfield, letting him know, hey, when do we got 10 seconds? When do we got 5 seconds? So you don't get any delay of game calls. They're back on. We'll see if they work, though.
9 minutes, 44 seconds to play. First quarter, the Wildcats, their first drive. If you don't mind, Alex, go up and look at the stream up there. We don't have any idea what is the deal with that. As Blaine Stansberry will come up. His running back is Wayne Gibson. The Wildcats have 2 receivers split to the right. Got a slot man. Man comes in motion here to the near side. 1st down, 10 yards to go. Wayne Gibson gets the call, busts outside, moves the ball across the 15, and pushed out of bounds around the 19 officially. It'll be a gain on the play of about 4 or 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down facing the Wildcats. 9:37 to play first quarter. Mike, Wayne Gibson has done a really good job in replacing Demillion Porter while he's injured.
He certainly has. He's done a great job. His quickness, his balance, his eyes, vision, everything about Wayne. I watched him back early when we were scrimmaging at Knox Central. He had one of the best scrimmages I've ever seen. I didn't know he wasn't the starter until the season actually got started.
2nd down, 5 yards to go. Here's the pitch to the backfield. He's in a little trouble. He's going to reverse his field. He's going to go down. They went to the short side of the field. There just was no room on that side, and they lose big yardage back to the 15-yard line, about where the original line of scrimmage was.
You know, that's one of the first times I've seen line blocking break down. The Admirals did a really good job of penetrating that time. So it brings up now 3rd and 10 for the Wildcats.
Ball is resting right at the 15-yard line. The Wildcats and Farragut Admirals just underway. The Wildcats have 2 receivers to the right of Stansberry, 3 to his left. Nobody in the backfield. Wildcat offensive line. Blaine wants to run it. Now we'll throw it across the way. Pass is complete. 1st down and more across the 30, up to the 35-yard line. Malik Howard, 1st and 10. A 10 Bank of Oak Ridge 1st down.
Wow, what a beautiful play. Blaine, I just knew they had him. He jumped in out of the box, got away from any would-be tacklers, and threw a perfect strike to Malik Howard for a big 1st down.
The ball is resting at the 38-yard line. 8 minutes, 38 seconds to play. We're in the first quarter of a scoreless game just underway. Wildcats with their first down of the ball game. 2 receivers to the right. Blaine's going to pass again. Has time, now will run. Moves the ball to the 40 and goes down at around the 44-yard line. Blaine was over 100 yards rushing last week until he took those knees, Mike, or he would have stayed over 100. The best rushing night of his career.
Absolutely it was, and he picked up where he left off last week, David. That was a great scramble that time. A good defense again by the defensive back for the Admirals. Wasn't really anybody open except the middle of the field, and Blaine took advantage of it and got about 7 yards on that carry.
It'll be for the Wildcats. 2nd down, a long 3 to go for a first. Blaine's going to hand it off to Wayne. He finds a hole, has a 1st down, a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge 1st down as he drives forward behind the offensive line. And Like, I know we talk about this all season long, but you love it when those offensive line guys make big holes for the backs to run through.
Well, that was my forte in high school, and I love to watch these guys. They have developed so much over the course of this year. It is amazing how well they've done, and they're probably one of the biggest reasons we're undefeated right now.
From the 49-yard line, first down, 10 yards to go. Blaine's going to pass. Screen pass is caught. Lots of room in front. 50, 45. Moves the ball to the Farragut 43-yard line. Another big gain on first down as the Wildcats are in Admiral territory in a scoreless ball game here from Bill Claybo Field in Farragut.
Zayden Williams there on the catch for the Wildcats. Another good offensive gain for the Wildcats, David.
Officially at the 44-yard line, second down, 3 yards to go. Down to 6:45 and counting in the first quarter. We have a scoreless ball game. The Admirals were able to pick up one first down on their opening drive as the Wildcat quarterback, senior Blaine Stansbury, brings them up. The Wildcats have one lone man here to the near side. Wayne Gibson in the backfield. Man comes in motion. Jarrell Jimerson, Malik Howard, Adam Washington all on the field. Blaine's going to pass. He's in a lot of trouble. Fires a pass. It's complete for a 10-back of Oak Ridge first down across the 40 to the Farragut 37-yard line. That's another first down. They got a lot of pressure in, but Malik is able to, I believe it's Malik Howard who makes the catch. First and 10 Wildcats.
Yeah, he had to backpedal about 3 or 4 steps that time because the rush was coming in on him pretty quick, but he freed himself, got the ball to Malik again, and Malik ran it up the field for another Wildcat first down. Love the way this offense is playing right now, David.
6 minutes to play. First and 10 Wildcats. Adam Washington, Jarrell Jimerson, one other Wildcat. I think that's Zayden Williams out to the left. The Wildcats come to the line. First down, 10 yards to go at the 37-yard line of Farragut. Blaine tried to get them to come off sides, and they do. That hard count, and Blaine's so good at that. Actually, Kipton Fagan at the junior varsity level does it really well. It must be something they really emphasize in practice.
Well, they definitely drew him off that time. He was on the left end for the Admirals, and there wasn't any doubt about that play. It was a penalty all the way.
It'll be first down, 5 yards to go. The ball is now at the Admiral 32-yard line. Wildcats and Admirals. As I mentioned, the Wildcats, the 51st meeting between the two schools. Here's a handoff to Wayne, and Wayne slithers across the 30. Got tripped up as he hit the line of scrimmage and did fall forward to around the 29-yard line, where it'll be second down and about 2 yards to go.
Yeah, that was another good hard run by Wayne because somebody got him by the foot early just as he went through the line of scrimmage, but he managed to push his body forward, and we've only got 2 yards to get another first down.
Very long, impressive drive. Like we had an 18-play drive last week in the Hardin Valley game to start
a bunch of minutes off the clock, too.
Second down, 2 yards to go. Blaine's going to pass this time. Here comes the screen once again. Set up. Jarrell Jimerson, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. No, he goes down at the 9-yard line where it'll be first and goal Wildcats.
I tell you, Jarrell Jimerson was on a mission that time. As soon as he caught that ball, he ran right between the defenders, and they were chasing him, and they had to get him from behind to keep him from going in the end zone. With 4 minutes and 27 seconds left, it's first and goal for the Wildcats.
Wildcats just marching down the field. They had a situation way back where they lost yards. I think it was like 3rd and 10 with a great pass conversion to Malik Howard. The Wildcat drive is steadily, as Mike said, marched down the field. Ball officially at the 9-yard line. First down, goal to go at the 9. Wayne Gibson in the backfield, and Blaine's going to take it. He's going to see the end zone. He is there. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. Blaine Stansbury takes it in from 9 yards out, and the Wildcats take the lead over Farragut 6-0.
What great execution that time, David. He faked the handoff to Gibson inside. Everybody keyed on Gibson, and Blaine pulled the ball down and went around left end. 9 yards untouched for the Wildcat. Touchdown.
And into the game to attempt the extra point will come Eli Pearson. The holder is Adam Washington. Pilgrim to snap. 6-0 Wildcats. 3 minutes, 58 seconds to play. The kick is on its way. It's up, and it's good. Oak Ridge on top of Farragut here at Bill Claybo Field, Farragut High School. We'll be back in 90 seconds.
TV, you got TV, timeout, you got TV.
No one can match delicious, high-quality, Big Kahuna wings. But we offer so much more than wings. From unique, mouth-watering appetizers to our gourmet burgers, wraps, and salads. Quality ingredients, extraordinary dishes in a family-friendly environment. Big Kahuna wings. Change your taste buds forever. Everywhere you look, you can find unexpected things that make you smile. Little reminders to care for your heart. At Covenant Health, we bring more heart to more places. That means more locations, advanced treatments, and expert visits. Because we know your heart beats for more than just you. It beats for the people, moments, and dreams that matter most. More heart in more places for you. Covenant Health. Let our strength.
Hey, what do you think that sign says? Eat more what's the start of the word? Something like eat more cheese. Or eat more chili. Chocolate. Eat more chocolate. No, it's chocolate.
Did they start on about the 12?
Cheesecake.
Didn't they start on about the 12? 15. 15, thank you.
It could be chocolate. It's not how you spell chicken. Pretty sure.
We're not going to be able to block that. I'll tell you what, the one that's being good is serious.
And we appreciate all of our sponsors who have been with us all season long on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. We're streaming the game on our YouTube channel. Believe it or not, Mike, Alex Myers is here, but he's trying to fix whatever issue we have with the stream. But great drive for the Wildcats, about 85 yards.
Absolutely. Just great play calling right there where the Admirals weren't. The run and the pass mix in together. Just a great drive by the Wildcats. And they burned a lot of clock too, David. There's only not less than 4 minutes left here in this first quarter. Wildcats up 7-0.
And Eli Pearson is about to kick once again for the Wildcats. His first kick went into the end zone, and Wildcats have a 7-0 lead. Last year, Farragut knocked off Oak Ridge at Blankenship Field in a game where the Wildcats didn't particularly play well. Oak Ridge started out pretty strong last week against Hardin Valley. Hopefully they can keep it up the entire game as another nice kick by Eli goes sailing into the end zone. I enjoyed speaking to Eli and Caleb Riker yesterday on the TV show about kicking and about other things. I had a good time with those guys.
That was really an entertaining interview with those two yesterday. You could tell they were really good friends. And some of the questions you asked were outstanding, David. Really enjoyed that conversation. So, some of these guys, I've heard you say Eli doesn't like talking, but you sure couldn't tell that last night.
Corbin Hobson is going to bring his team to the line. First down, 10 yards to go. They were able to pick up one drive, a first down on their first drive the first time, but had to punt after the first down. Hobson's going to hand it to the running back. He's got some running room, cuts to the outside, but then goes down. The Wildcats just pursued. They've got a very young running back in there. They've got a freshman starting at running back. He didn't hit the hole hard. Alex, good to have you back here. Where you been?
Well, I've been unsuccessfully trying to fix the stream issues. We were aware that there's, for the second week in a row, kind of a lagging issue. Unfortunately, what we tried last week and a little bit more does not appear to work, so we'll take a better look at it at close to halftime if we can.
Second down and 9 yards to go. Hobson back to pass. Pass is going to be, not sure, I guess it is incomplete, I believe. It'll be third down facing the Farragut Admirals. What an impressive drive. I don't know if you got to watch it. 85 yards, capped off by the 9-yard run by Blaine Stansberry.
A little bit of it. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to focus a ton, but again, Jarrell Jimerson, a great start to this game. I saw his play on offense last drive, but a couple of really nice pass breakups early on. He's timing balls well when they're trying to throw to that short side of the field. As senior, I don't know why they continue. Teams trying to test Jarrell. He's all over those.
You know, one thing, and we'll talk about this after this play, is third down, 9 yards to go, right across the 20-yard line. Hobson has two receivers to his right, one lone man. He's going to drop back to pass, feeling pressure. He goes down, sucked all the way back to the 13-yard line, and they'll be forced to punt again.
Amani Bishop first there, but there was 4 Wildcats there. And credit that to those guys up front bursting through early. But I'll tell you what, Jimerson and Woody, those 2 defensive backs for Oak Ridge had the 2 receivers on the left side of the quarterback. He looked left. There was nowhere for him to go. And before he could think to try to run with it, he had 4 white jerseys all in his face.
I've just been told that we're kind of in sync with Packers broadcast, so you can turn down their audio and listen to our radio. Here comes the punt. Lots of pressure. Gets a nice punt off. Jarrell's going to make a fair catch at the 42-yard line, and that is where Oak Ridge will take over. Farragut, over the years, has always had great kickers.
They have. Them, Dobbins Bennett, there's several of these schools around the area where you think when they come in, you don't have to know the roster, but you can guarantee one thing, and that's that they're going to be good on the special teams unit. Great job by Jarrell. What I appreciate about that, it looks like a small play. So many times we've seen Oak Ridge let balls drop on the punts, and you lose 10, 15 yards where the ball's just rolling. That time he runs over, fair catches it, and he saves Oak Ridge some yards where that ball would have rolled if not.
Ball's at the 44-yard line of the Wildcats. Here comes Blaine Stansbury handing it off to Wayne Gibson. Outside he goes. Tries to get the corner. He does. 45, 50 in the Farragut territory and pushed out of bounds at around the 47-yard line. 2 minutes, 32 seconds to play in the first quarter. 7-0 here on this beautiful Thursday night in Farragut.
And what can be said about Wayne Gibson? A guy playing both ways his senior year. I know at this point in the year you've got to be worn down and kind of nicked up and bruised and battered, but this guy just continues to look more and more comfortable every time he comes out here on Friday nights running the ball and doing so much for the Wildcats as he gets things going again here. 3 receivers left for Oak Ridge, 1 to the right. Again, Gibson, the lone man in the backfield to the left of quarterback Blaine Stansbury. Stansbury fakes to him, throws left to Jimerson, 5 yards, makes a man miss, trying to make a first down. He's going to get that and more. Jarrell Jimerson across the 30, down to the 25, and finally wrestled down at the 22-yard line. He had a nice block out to the left side towards the Oak Ridge sideline. That time it was Adam Washington helping to spring him. Jarrell Jimerson, Mike, he's had a great start on both sides of the ball.
He certainly has. You know, he really slowed down the Admirals there when you were just coming back. He made a tackle on, and they only gained 1 yard. Now offensively, he's been a juggernaut for the Wildcats.
That's a 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down. Again, it's 1st and 10 from, they'll call it the Admiral 21 here. Wildcats inching towards the Admiral red zone. Fake left. They got a man in the flat. That's Wayne Gibson across the 20 into the red zone. 15, wrestled down at the 12-yard line. David Glary, that's going to be close to a 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down. We'll see what they call, but Oak Ridge, 1 step of Farragut so far on offense.
All I can say, you can look at the Wildcats right now. They look like they're executing the way they wanted to last week. They really look good.
Yeah, they look business-like and workmanlike. They look like they came over here with one thing on their mind, and that's executing and winning a football game. And so far, they're well on their way. Might like to see them punch this thing in, though, and go up 2 scores.
Minute 25 and counting. 7-0 Oak Ridge. The ball is resting at the 10-yard line. The Wildcats have it first down. They can pick up a first down, so it's closer to the 11 as Wayne gets the call, moves the ball inside the 10, goes down at around the 7-yard line. 1:10 to play. Miles Bergen, Preston Fetters, along with David Urbanowitz, along with Grayson Brown, Caleb Jackson, Mark and Shauna Hayes, Mike Sheehan, and your name is Alex Myers.
I think so.
Yeah, it has been all your life, right?
Well, I've been called a lot of things that weren't Alex, but and most of them probably accurate.
2nd down and 5 yards to go for the Wildcats. The ball is resting, they say, at the 6-yard line. Clock moving, under a minute to play. Blaine has Wayne to his left, receivers to the right and left. Man comes in motion, that's Jarrell Jimerson. Stansbury, play clock down. Here comes Blaine running, outside he goes. Once again, he's got blue end zone in front of him. Touchdown. 2nd touchdown of the quarter for Blaine Stansbury, and it's 13-0 Wildcats.
Yeah, just a tremendous mix and play calling there on offense for Oak Ridge. You saw the run game, Wayne Gibson getting involved. You saw Wayne Gibson getting involved in the play action fake when they went to the passing game. You saw Jarrell Jimerson, a couple different guys get involved. And then lo and behold, who else but Blaine Stansbury again with his legs. I like to have him in fantasy football this week. David, 2 rushing touchdowns for the senior quarterback early on in this one, and it's 13-0 with Eli Pearson's kick pending. And it's up and good. No surprise there. We'll be back to Farragut High School in 60 seconds. It's Oak Ridge 14, Farragut nothing. Oh, I thought that meant you were going to do it.
I did the first one.
Act like a track athlete after that.
Pearson to kick for the Wildcats. Right to receive.
Oh, it's easy to hit. All it takes is one button. No, you're good. These things are sensitive.
Ho-hum, another touchback for Eli Pearson as the ball goes sailing into the end zone. Great start for the Wildcats. 27.9 seconds to play in the first quarter, and the Wildcats have a 14-0 lead over the Farragut Admirals. The Wildcats trying to go 9-0. Will win today. The Wildcats can finish no worse than first or second in the region, which means they will host the first round of the playoffs. Farragut 2-2 in the region. The Wildcats are undefeated. We'll close out the season next Thursday, another Thursday night ball game, this time at Maryville High School. Hobson brings them up, first down, 10 yards to go. Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Once again, high snap, quick pass is going to be caught. Nice play and nice tackle, or he might have taken it the distance. That was a nice pass by their quarterback.
Yeah, it was getting ready to be a foot race between that receiver and Dylan Woody. Had Tyree Porter not made that just tremendous open field tackle up near the 40-yard line.
See, they get one play off. It's going to be a handoff to the running back, and he is met middle part of the line, but not before he picks up about 5 yards, and that'll be the final play of the first quarter. 14-0, Oak Ridge on top of the Farragut Admirals. We'll take a break. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll be back for the second quarter in 2 minutes.
And that's the end of the first quarter. Your score, Oak Ridge 14, Farragut 0. Fans, we are excited to highlight our 2025 Sparkle Squad. Please direct your attention to the east side of the track at the 25-yard line. Let's listen for the Sparkle Squad to lead us in a cheer. Sparkle Squad! Let's give them a hand!
Why settle for a cookie-cutter house when you can build a home that's uniquely yours? Last Construction specializes in custom home building, making your dream home a reality. From design to final touches, we ensure every detail is perfect. Schedule a free consultation today and start your journey of building your perfect home. Construct your dream with Last Construction.
It's not, then it would have to be on somewhere. Could try it at halftime. I think we should at halftime. I could try it, yeah.
They tried to get it passed on.
Welcome back once again to Bill Clabo Field. We're about to have the second quarter to begin, but Mike Sheehan, great start for the Wildcats. 14-0, Oak Ridge has the lead. Two very impressive scoring drives.
Yeah, our execution has been so much better tonight. It's like two different teams, David. It's amazing. Blaine Stansberry's been extremely accurate. His receivers haven't dropped any passes. One of the most happy parts about this game is we've yet to have a penalty, and that's important.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, that last week I know, and that's one of the things that they emphasized all week in practice. They need to, and those were things that Coach Rang told you after the ball game the other day. That those are kind of things we can work on.
Yeah, those are things that you can control. You can't control your opponent. You can't control the weather, the environment. You can always control your discipline and the things that that you can control. And Mike, on behalf of our audience, David, myself, the next flag that's thrown, I'm blaming you because I think you may have just jinxed it. You better find some wood to knock on.
We got a television timeout. That's what the delay is. Mark and Shauna Hayes are doing stats upstairs. We appreciate you watching. Next Thursday, we'll be traveling to Maryville, and I don't guess you've ever done a game at Maryville, have you?
I'm not sure I've done one in the booth. I've worked with you. It may have been in high school when I was doing camera. I've definitely done because I remember they had Jets Pizza. It was the first time I'd had Jets, and it was good. I remember that. My high schooler, I remember the food.
Of course you do. Second down and a long 3 to go for a first. The ball is at the 46-yard line of the Admirals. 14-0. Hobson back to pass. Little screen pass is going to be caught. Wildcats are going to try to make the tackle. They trip him up, but not before he picks up a first down.
Yeah, Oak Ridge has brought pressure so many times early in the first couple of drives as they start this one here in the second quarter. Just the perfect play call against an Oak Ridge team that was blitzing. They delay that screen. It was just one man to beat in the linebacker, and they had it just timed up perfectly.
Ball's at the 47-yard line in Wildcat territory. Just underway, second quarter, 14-0 Oak Ridge. Quarterback hands it to the back, and he's finding holes all of a sudden. Moves the ball across the 40 up to the 39-yard line, and that's a big chunky yardage.
Yeah, big chunk, like you said, just right up the middle, just gashing Oak Ridge. The few times he's gotten the ball, he's been impressive.
Farragut going quickly here. Second down, 2. Hobson hands it off to the back. He tries to get wide, now reverses left, and down he goes. He looked to his right, didn't see anything, and then came back left, and you know, that's the youth of that running back right there as he ran right into the Wildcats.
Well, and it's really the discipline, though, of the senior veteran Nate Stevens, because the ball was going right the whole time. Nate Stevens is coming off that left edge, and instead of over-pursuing and trying to go play hero ball, he just stays at home. On the rare chance that running back bounces back, as he did, he's right there to make the play. If Nate overcommits, there's no one there, and he's got a lot of room to run.
They gave him a yard, third down, and a yard to go. Wildcats with a 4-man front. The Wildcats creep up on the line. No movement across the line. They tried to get him to jump. Third down, 1 yard to go. Play clock is down. That's not working, so I can't even bother to look at that. Quarterback to misplay, and he's going to somehow find a first down, though. He's going to move the ball forward. He looked to hand it off, and there was nobody there. And a busted play, but he picks up the first down.
Yeah, they kind of got away with it. It looked like a busted play, and it looked like there was some confusion clearly. Unfortunately, though, for Oak Ridge, they only needed about a half a yard, and so even with that confusion, the quarterback wisely just kind of says, well, I'll get what I can here, and just by kind of falling forward by default, he gets enough for the first.
First down, 10 yards to go. The ball is at the 36-yard line. 10 minutes to play here in this second quarter. 14-0. The Wildcats in the lead. 2 receivers to the right now for Farragut. The Wildcats creep up on the line. He wants to pass again. Goes across the way. Pass to a wide-open man. He breaks the tackle. He's in the end zone. Touchdown. Broke a tackle on the right sideline, the Oak Ridge sideline, and Farragut is on the board with 9:38 to play in the first half. The Wildcats lead is 14-6.
Yeah, just a really nice throw and catch there. Good protection up front. Gave the quarterback just ample time to plant his feet and throw. And to be honest with you, David, the coverage was really soft right there. So there was a nice little pocket when he curled that route back past the first down sticks. And Oak Ridge defender was there. It would have been a first down, but he was there in time to make the play. Receiver just made a nice play, broke the tackle, and there was no safety help behind him.
9:37, as I said, to play second quarter, 14-6, and they'll go for the extra point. So we've seen a lot of excitement here in the first part of this ball game. Low snap, kick is on its way, it's up, and it is good. 14-7 our score, the Wildcat lead cut. We'll take another break. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Ben said to try to check. I'll try to go do that. They're about to take a live hit. I'll have to wait a second. This right here.
Things here. We talked about maybe trying to toss out of the ugly to get it outside because we have some advantage there. We showed, I think we coached that and looked up in there, didn't we, guys?
Who was that? Who missed the tackle?
So we're going to try to start with just a regular spray. Spray right, not that spray right, Indiana.
We appreciate Todd Fox and all of our sponsors, and we'll run those down a little bit. We're going to have a trivia question coming up at halftime. We'll have Mark and Shauna's statistics. Here's Farragut kicking off, and it's going to be returnable. It's angling to the right side, picked up at the Wildcat 10 to the 15 to the 20 to the 25-yard line, and he's tackled at that point, and that is where the Wildcats will take over first down, 10 yards to go.
A nice little cut there by Tyree around the 20-yard line. I thought he was going to be able to maybe get a little even more out of that than he did, but a nice job of him reading the blocks, reading where the defenders were coming down towards in their lanes and getting to the 25-yard line. And Oak Ridge, 2 for 2 for Oak Ridge. Let's see if we can make it 3 for 3. Somebody we haven't heard a lot from so far in this ball game, Big Malik Howard.
The Wildcats first down, 10 yards to go. Ball's at the 26-yard line. The Wildcats do have 3 receivers to the left as usual. Lone running back, Wayne Gibson. Blaine Stansberry is your quarterback. And he's going to hand it off to Wayne, and Wayne moves the ball forward to the 30. Gain of about 4 yards. It'll be second down and 6.
Yeah, and if they run that formation and Farragut lines up as they did right there, they're going to be able to have Malik across the middle because lining him up in the slot as opposed to having him come out of the backfield as a tight end, it just gives him a lot more leverage when he's coming down towards those linebackers, and it looked like they were going to zone at that time, and he's really good about finding the open spots in the middle of the field.
They gave him actually 5 yards on the carry, so it's second down and 5 yards to go. 8:58 and a fast-moving first half. The Wildcats, second down, 5 yards to go at their own 30-yard line. Blaine's going to hand it left side, and they cut across the 35 to the 40. And then the ball comes out. There's a flag down on the play. Wildcats turn the ball over. Let's see. No signal from the officials. And there is a fumble. It would have been a first down run. I do not see any signal that it's Farragut ball, and I believe the Wildcats are going to maintain the football, and they'll have it after a 10-back first down, but there is a marker. It's going to be holding against the Wildcats.
Yeah, huge break. I think it was actually Adam Washington, and I credit Adam because I think Farragut had that ball initially, but at the bottom of the pile, as you know, David, that ball can change hands 3 or 4 times. All that matters is who has it last when all the pile is uncovered, and Adam Washington did the dirty work for Oak Ridge fighting for that ball. And again, it's a negative play for Oak Ridge, but it could have been a lot worse if they would have lost that fumble.
So the ball is walked back to the 21-yard line where it is second down and 15 yards to go. 8:42 to play. We're in the first half, 14-7. The Wildcats in the lead, trying to go 9-0 on the year, trying to go maintain their perfect mark in the region. And Blaine brings them up once again. Single man forward to the right. Man comes in motion. Jarrell Jimerson. And he stops. Here's the snap to Wayne gets it. Wayne cuts inside, moves the ball across the 25 up to around the 27. He runs so hard. And, you know, anybody who is, you know, listening to us on the radio, Wayne is not a very big guy, but he runs big.
He's not, but, you know, sometimes at running backs, that kind of helps you because sometimes it takes the defenders a little bit longer to kind of find you behind that big offensive line. And then when they do, he's got a low center of gravity. And he's not tall, but he's very powerful. He's got a strong base, and he's so balanced as a runner. He's always kind of leaning forward. He's just a hard guy to bring down, even though he isn't the biggest guy.
Third down, 8 yards to go for the Wildcats. Blaine's going to have time to pass. Now he might run it, and he will. No, he's going to pass it wide open, complete to the 50, to the 45. Wildcats down the right sideline, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, into the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats. Oak Ridge all the way in for the score.
A 73-yard touchdown play. What a play by Blaine Stansberry, finished off by Malik Howard. Blaine stepped up in the pocket. Along with you, David, I could hear it in your voice. I thought Blaine was going to run, which wouldn't have been a bad decision because he had 10 or 15 yards wide open. But at the last minute, as he pulled that linebacker up thinking he was going to run off with his feet, here comes Malik Howard streaking across the middle. Looked like a post route. He was coming across the field, and somehow Blaine kept his eyes downfield, threw the ball before he crossed the line of scrimmage. You get it in Three's hand. He does the rest and just outran the defense. points.
The extra point is on its way. It's up and it's good. Oak Ridge counters with a touchdown. 21-7 our score. 7 minutes, 35 seconds to play. We're in the first half. We'll take another break. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll be back to Bill Clabo Field at Farragut in 90 seconds. 77 yards.
Studying God's Word and worshiping our Creator. And I want you to be with us this Sunday. Don't miss out. Have a great night tonight and have a great day on Sunday worshiping the Lord.
21-7, the Wildcats in the lead, 7:35 to play. We're in the first half. We appreciate all of our sponsors. Mike, what a run after the catch by Malik Howard.
He was way down in the middle of the field, and there wasn't anybody within 15 yards of him when he first caught the ball. And then he took it off up the right sideline. And I tell you, Malik can run. Don't nobody kid you. He may be 6'4", but he outran everybody all the way to the end zone. What a beautiful play. Great execution by Blaine Stansberry and Malik Howard.
Mike, what a great answer after the Farragut touchdown.
Absolutely, yeah. Because, you know, sometimes you just have a letdown after something like that happens. You may have a breakdown on defense, and it goes back to offense. Not this time. Wildcats looking much sharper tonight than they did last Friday night against Hardin Valley. Really proud of the way they're playing.
7:35 to play in the first half. It's 21-7. The Wildcats in the lead. It'll be Eli to kick off once again. He has put all three of his previous kicks into the end zone. Let's see what he can do on this one. He's kicking towards the city of Knoxville, which is from right to left if you're listening to us on FM 92.7. Here's the kick, and he does drill it into the end zone. That'll be a touchback. I mentioned this on the television show last night. I have an opportunity to nominate people for Mr. Football, and I nominated Eli Pearson for the best kicker in the league because, in my opinion, the best I've seen all year.
Oh, no doubt, no question about that. You know, Eli played really great last year and should have won it, but that kid from Powell, because he was a senior, I think he got it over Eli. Eli should be a shoe-in this year for that honor, David.
First down, 10 yards to go. Farragut takes over at the 20-yard line. Moving left to right here. Hobson back in at quarterback. Back to pass. Across the way. Pass is incomplete. Wildcats converge with Amante Bishop and one other Wildcat right at the point of the reception. It's incomplete. Wildcats, he wasn't going to go anywhere. Zayden and Amante right there.
Yeah, they sandwiched him. As soon as the ball got there, they got there. He had no chance of catching that ball, David.
Second down, 10 yards to go. Clock stopped now, 7:31 to play in the first half. Four-man front for the Wildcats. The Wildcats playing man right up on the line of scrimmage. Handoff goes to the running back, and he finds some running room, but not much. He goes down after a gain of about 5. And still no help on that there, Alex?
No, I appreciate Ben George, prep radio member, helps with Tennessee football and athletics and does a lot of video stuff for them. He had another idea, and Mark Haste tried to do it, and we did do what Ben said, but unfortunately it's not helping much. So we can take another look at it at halftime, but we're trying, folks.
Third down, 5 yards to go. Hobson back to pass. Lots of pressure across the way. That's a bullet pass. Incomplete. No flags down. And it'll be fourth down, and they'll be forced to punt. The Wildcats, a great answer, as I mentioned, with the Malik Howard 70-plus yard touchdown run, 79 yards, Mike says, and just a great play. And another great stop there by the Oak Ridge defense. The quarterback's got an arm. He zipped that one in, maybe a little bit too hard, actually. As the Wildcats will send Jarrell Jemerson back to receive the punt. The Wildcats trying to go 9-0 on the year. Farragut trying to win their third region ball game. All their wins have come in the region against Bearden and Hardin Valley. Fourth down, 5 yards to go. Don't want to jump off sides. Here comes the snap. Lots of pressure. It's up, and it is bouncing. It's going to go rolling towards the Oak Ridge sideline. Take a Farragut bounce out of bounds at around the 40. And once again, and I think you talked to him last week, Tim Walters, very close on that one, just couldn't quite get to it.
All three of Farragut's punts, you may have heard the coaching staff, especially on that first one. We're up here next to them in the booth. They thought they had it in that first one. I thought they did too. Almost every punt we've seen the past 2 or 3 games, the Wildcats have been incredibly close. You just have to think it's a ticking time bomb. At some point, they're going to get their hands on one.
Next Thursday night, the Wildcats will be traveling to Maryville, another Thursday night ball game. This one is not going to be televised, so hopefully we'll get that stream issue taken care of. We have no idea what the problem is, honestly, as they're going to walk yardage against the Wildcats back to the 25-yard line. I never even saw the marker.
No, I didn't either. So it makes you think maybe potentially it was after the play, but I like I said, even then you'd think you would have seen something, but there wasn't a tackle made on the play or anything. So, and you know, I don't really know that there was anybody going into the Oak Ridge sideline. I don't know.
Those are the kind of penalties Coach Rang is very, very upset with, obviously. And, you know, as the Wildcats, let's see what they can do. They have marched down the field in all 3 of their drives. Here's Wayne getting the handoff, and Wayne is not getting much. He gets really maybe back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Nothing on the left side. We're down to 6:48 to play in the first half, 21-7 Wildcats.
Yeah, second and about 10 here. They're going to say that Wayne did get back to the line of scrimmage, but, you know, if you're Farragut, you haven't really done much in the way of stopping the Wildcats so far, so you got a good first down play right there, stopping them, and you try to capitalize. If you're Oak Ridge, just try to make this third and manageable. Get 4 or 5 yards so you don't have to gain everything. As we get set for this play, there's another, I don't know if there's a penalty, there's a whistle, so there's a stoppage. It could be a penalty or it could be clock, David, because I don't see any laundry on the field.
Yeah, they've had some problems early on with the clock. The play clocks are not working. Technology, as you said, they didn't work at our place last week except for one series, I believe. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go. The Wildcats have the ball at their own 25, 6 minutes and 23 seconds to play. Clock is now moving. Blaine Stansberry rolls to his right. See if he comes back left. He looks to throw it deep down the way. It's caught at the 45. He cuts to the Farragut sideline 40. Moves the ball down, and then a flag goes down right at the point of the tackle. I think we'll have a face mask of some kind. When that ball was released, I saw a blue shirt down there, and I thought this one could be picked up, but somehow Jarrell Jemerson's able to grab it, and the Wildcats have a 10-back of Oak Ridge first down.
Yeah, it's interesting. So many times when they've had that rollout play, Oak Ridge has run that to the short side of the field. That time, for one of the first times, it seems like all year they ran that to the wide side, meaning they had more time and more space to operate. As Blaine got outside the hashes towards that Oak Ridge sideline, Jarrell Jemerson got behind the defense, and they had him wide open. Unfortunately, the ball didn't quite get that far. After the catch was made, Jarrell did a great job coming back to it. He looked like he was going to try to score. He got what I thought was a great block by Zayden Williams. They're going to call that, I guess 15 years ago, that probably was the block of the week. Now they don't really – I didn't really think it was dirty or illegal, but I guess they're going to say that was kind of a blind side going back from the play. But Zayden Williams, I think they're going to get him with an illegal block.
Well, the Wildcats do have a first down at the 45-yard line. Here comes the pitch out to Wayne Gibson. Goes towards the Oak Ridge sideline, 50, 45. A 10-back of Oak Ridge first down, and another flag goes down on the play. This is like last week, starting to be.
Well, and there's 2 more immediately on the sideline. I would think based on the placement of the first flag, it was going to be against Oak Ridge. But then, as one of our cameramen almost got taken out, thank you, Caleb, for watching out for yourself. You almost got taken out there. There was a couple more as the Farragut player kind of looked like they were jawing with a couple of Oak Ridge guys over there, and unfortunately there was 2 penalties, so it could be 2 on Farragut, 2 on Oak Ridge, or likely these are offsetting, but we'll see.
Well,
again,
way,
there's 3 different.
The Wildcats have got to quit making these penalties. We're getting close to playoff time, and we cannot continue to have these penalties against us.
It's not just that the moments are bigger, but the teams you're playing are better, and so the margins for error are going to continue to shrink, really beginning with this week. That Farragut's record's not great, but this is a better football team, I believe, than Hardin Valley, and obviously Maryville's better than Farragut. So competition's only going to get better. That first call is a holding. The second is going to be an unsportsmanlike personal foul on
Farragut.
So they do this silly, it's just totally silly, David. They mark off the penalty and then walk it right back. I don't get why they do it, because the math is the math. I don't understand.
You hate that.
It's silly. That's the word for it. You walk back 10 yards and then walk it right back.
It is a 10 Bank of Oak Ridge first down at the 44-yard line. 5:48 to play. First half, 21-7 Wildcats. Receivers left and right. Once again, Blaine Stansberry hands it off to Wayne. Wayne right up the gut, moves the ball for a gain of about 3. Nice little play there by the Wildcats. Didn't get as much yardage, but not a bad-looking play.
So many times, even on this drive, you're seeing it first down run, try to get something established, and on second down, they come back with the play action. Let's see if they do that again or if they try something different right here.
5:38 and counting. Miles Bergen doing our scoreboard up top. Preston Fetters is doing camera work on this Thursday night. Second down, we'll call it 8 yards to go. 3 receivers split to Blaine's left. He looks over back to the sideline. I don't know what the play clock is. It's not working. 5:21 to play and counting. 21-7, the Wildcats in the lead. Stansberry waiting for the snap. Has it. He's going to throw it. And the catch is made out there at the 36-yard line. And it'll be a gain on the play as Malik Howard, another reception. I heard what sounded like a flag on the play. We'll check this one. And indeed, it is going to be another one against Oak Ridge. And an eligible receiver downfield. That happened in the touchdown play from Joey Marin Ship. That's what I've been told to call him now. He has a hyphen on his name. But the Wildcats, 5-yard step off.
Yeah, and again, you just 1 step forward, 2 steps back. And again, Mike, no offense, I'm blaming you. You had to mention that the game was going too clean.
From the 48-yard line now, it's second down, 15 yards to go. 5 minutes and counting in the first half, 21-7. The Wildcats in the lead.
Here we go. Silver, white, stay, smoke.
Blaine looks back to the sideline. The Wildcats have scored on every one of their possessions. We're at the 48-yard line of Farragut now. Second down, 14 yards to go officially. Blaine rolls to his left this time, has it all day. Now will pass. Pass is wide open and out of bounds at the 40-yard line. We'll go Jarrell Jimerson closer to the 39, where it'll be third down and about 4.
Just a veteran play by a quarterback that you don't see at the high school level a ton. A guy that's got so many snaps, so much experience. That play was, it looked like design. It looked like Zayden Williams was the deepest receiver, going about 15 yards downfield, kind of curling back in that soft spot of the zone, trying to find a spot. And you could see Blaine, as he rolled to his left, looking to find Jaden, wisely decided to go elsewhere and then check down to another route. That's just something, that's a college level play right there by the senior.
From the 39-yard line of Farragut, Wayne Gibson runs it, moves the ball forward, boom. He goes for about 2 yards, but it's going to be fourth down and about 3, and the Wildcats in 4-down territory.
Yeah, but even just by picking up a couple, you keep yourself in play, and you don't have to punt here. Now it's a 4th and a long 4, but the way Oak Ridge has moved the ball, they could still run it or pass it here.
Hey, let's take a break here. We're at 4:21 to play in the first half, 21-7 Wildcats. We'll be back to Bill Clabo Field in 60 seconds. 4th down, 3 yards to go for the Wildcats. The ball at the 38-yard line. Blaine Stansberry back to pass. Pass is caught, and he's short by a yard. They're not going to pick up the first down. Nice looking play. Catch is made, but he's short by 1 yard.
Yeah, I like the play design. I like the thought. You think Farragut's going to bring pressure, so you throw a little kind of a delayed. It's kind of almost a tunnel screen with Malik coming in, blockers releasing to go and start blocking for him. And, you know, if that was 3rd and 3, that's a perfect call. Unfortunately, it was 3rd and 4, and you just tip your hat. I like the play call. Just Farragut really dialed in right there on 4th down defensively.
So if you just turned in on the radio, we came back from the break just a bit. The Wildcats denied the 4th down play. Good synopsis, though, Alex, as the Admirals take over 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line. 4:19 to play. Hobson hands it to the back, and he is hit and gains maybe 2 yards up to around the 37-yard line. 2nd and about 8 yards to go.
Yeah, just a nice start to the drive for Oak Ridge. We've seen them gash Oak Ridge up the middle between the tackles on 1st down a couple different times so far in this ball game. So a nice job with a nice stuff defensively to start this drive.
From the 37-yard line, 2nd down. 3 minutes, 54 seconds to play. The Wildcats, 4 on the front. Coming in with some pressure, handoff to the back, and he is hit right at the 40. It'll be 3rd down and about 4 yards to go. The ball rested. Oh, they got him pretty good forward progress up to the 42-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 3 yards to go.
Dylan Woody on the tackle, and another guy, Oak Ridge Wildcat, a junior, Jeremiah Strickland, huge young man, 6'3", in there getting more playing time at defensive tackle than he's gotten all year here early on in this one.
3rd down, 3 yards to go. We're down to 3:21 to play in the first half. 21-7 Wildcats. Tight formation. Wildcats coming in with some pressure. Quarterback's going to pass. Boom! The Wildcats trying to make the stop, but not before he picks up a 1st down. The Wildcats had pretty good coverage there, but they just couldn't get him down before he moved the ball and the chains. 1st and 10, Farragut.
Yeah, Dylan Woody came closing in quickly, but just credit the Farragut wideout. As soon as he caught the ball, he sensed that pressure and kind of adjusted his body. So where you thought, and I thought Dylan was going to have an opportunity to just kind of really lay the wood to him, he just kind of moved his body, contorted a little bit, kind of forced an arm tackle, and he was able to get rid of it.
1st and 10, Farragut. 2:38 to play. Hobson back to pass again. Has all day. Might run it. Rolls to his left. Here come the Wildcat white shirts, and he slides forward to the 50. It'll be 2nd down and about 7.5 yards to go. Clock still moving. 2:25 to play. We're in the first half. 21-7 Wildcats. The ball resting right at the 49-yard line.
Great job by J.T. Gormley and Caden Stewart that time, because I thought with the defensive backs playing back that the quarterback was going to have 5 or 10 yards unabated to get that 1st down, and they closed in quick and just limited it for a couple yards.
2nd down, 8 yards to go. 2 minutes to play. Hobson back to pass. Pressured, fires a pass. Man is there.
Wow.
Oh, it's a beautiful pass. Pretty good coverage by the Wildcats. Ball was right on the money, very similar to the Hardin Valley catch last week, which I got to watch on the ground tapes. That was a fantastic catch. That ball was right on the money, but incomplete.
Yeah, Jemerson with good position there from a cornerback, but you could not have stood 3 or 4 yards away and thrown that ball in a better position. And the most important thing, Corbin Hobson, the most impressive thing for him, you called it in that first drive, he's got a really nice arm. David, he threw that one falling back and just kind of jumping up. He didn't even plant into that, and it was still a dime.
Minute 46 to play, first half. 3rd down, 8 yards to go. The ball at the 49-yard line of the Admirals. Wildcats more pressure this time. Here's the screen pass. He's going to be caught, and the Wildcats blast him after a gain of only about 2. Good defense, Oak Ridge. One of the Admirals is down on the play. Let's see if he gets up. The clock is moving. 1:42 to play. The Wildcats are going to get the ball back. I heard the coaches up here calling for a timeout to get more time to work the offense. But right now, the clock is still moving. 1:33 to play. Ball is at the 49-yard line. Here comes Farragut to the line. They're going to go for it. Well, at least they're going to attempt to run a play. 1:23 to play. Ball's at the 49-yard line, 4th down and 6.
This is a total show from Farragut. I don't think they have any intentions, but because they're acting like they're going to go for it, it stops Oak Ridge from stopping the clock, because as long as there's a chance that Farragut continue this drive, if you're Oak Ridge, you don't want to stop the clock and give them more opportunities. So really smart coaching, a chess match here from Coach Courtney saying that hey, we're going to force this clock to wind down, then we'll call the timeout, and then end up ultimately punting, but now you've wasted 30 seconds.
You know, I heard the coaches up here wanting to call a timeout before, and they would have had about a little over 2 minutes or around 2 minutes to work their offense. But we're down to 59.8 seconds. I'm getting reports that now the audio is ahead of the video, or behind the video. I don't know. It's weird. I don't understand it at all.
We're going to try some stuff at halftime. That's when we were able to fix it last week, and then magically it was good the rest of the game. So hopefully we can do that again this time. David, their quarterback,
Corbin Hobson.
Excuse me. No, I was looking down their roster. They've got a really impressive-looking young man at an athlete, 6'3", 225. He's every bit of that. Their tight end, Aaron Hetherly. Is that not a name that is an Oak Ridge player? I think maybe a friend of the Prep Radio, Hetherly.
I don't know anybody named Hetherly, except they used to have a baseball coach here named Hetherly.
I'm thinking of somebody else.
Maybe somebody in a previous life for you, Alex. It'll be 4th down and 6, and they don't have the punter on the field. The Wildcats lead at 21-7. They have the ball at the 49-yard line. It's a big gamble for Farragut. They don't pick up the first down. Here comes pressure. Pass is going to be almost intercepted. The Wildcats will take over. And I would have punted the ball and make the Wildcats drive because there's less than a minute to go. The Wildcats are going to get it at midfield.
Yeah, no question. Especially with Oak Ridge receiving the ball to start the second half, the last thing you want to do is let them double you up here, get a touchdown or get a field goal, then come out and get another one. So kind of steal a possession. I know Jarrell wanted that interception, but it's actually more advantageous for the Wildcats, David, that he didn't intercept that. If he intercepts it, Oak Ridge has the ball starting at their own 35 or so. The line of scrimmage was up near the 50, so actually because he dropped that, Oak Ridge takes over downs at their own 49. So Oak Ridge is realistically about 15 yards away from being in Eli Pearson territory.
53.7 seconds to see the Wildcats can get a playoff here without getting a penalty. Now they're going to, I don't know, one of the Admirals is going to have to come off the field. He's either bleeding or an equipment issue, and they're going to have to replace him. It'll be 1st and 10 Wildcats at the 49-yard line. 21-7, the Wildcats in the lead. Remember the Laura Lynn Green halftime show. Blaine the pass. Goes deep. Man there. Pass there. Pass is incomplete at the 20-yard line.
2nd and 10, right half.
Side note, David, I think who I was thinking of, Austin Keitherly.
Oh.
I saw the last part of that name, and I thought, I've seen that name before. I actually hadn't. So everyone listening at home, anyone besides the two people in the booth here are thinking, what is this guy talking about? Which is probably not far from what they think to begin with.
I was wondering why you stopped on like a 35-yard pass play there.
Well, because I just looked and I thought about it, and you thought I was thinking something in the game. Back to it, David.
That's all right. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the Wildcat 49 seconds to play. Blaine's got time, might run it. He's got running room, and he's going to take off. 50, 45. Out of bounds he goes. They're going to say around the 47-yard line he'll be shy of a first down. The clock is still running. Clock is still running. They ticked off 5-6 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, the clock should be right at about 35 seconds. Instead, there's 29 seconds. The officials do look like they're going to meet, and I think they're going to convene and get this right. Should be close to 34, 35 seconds on the clock, and we'll see what they end up putting it back, because right now it's on 29. And 3rd and 2, David, how far into what yard line? The ball is currently marked at the 42. They need to get to the 41 to get a first down with 35 or so seconds left. What part of the field do they need to get to officially be in Eli Pearson territory, to at least try?
He was hitting 55-yarders in warm-ups today. So, I mean, we know he has that kind of leg, but realistically they need to be around the 30 to 35, I think. 3rd down and a yard to go. Wayne Gibson has a first down across to the 35, to the 34. And the Wildcats will stop the clock with 29.3 seconds to play, and a timeout is asked for. Let's take it with them. Got a lot to do. Wildcats on top 21-7. We'll be back to Bill Clabo Field in Farragut in 30 seconds. At the end of the 30. What's that?
You want to just point to me?
Yeah, I will.
No, I wasn't trying to get your attention. It was just like That's what it was. And then you thought I was one of the.
That was funny.
Who is Keith? He was one of your boys, right?
He was. He
I
was.
was like, I thought
Austin Keebley. Yeah.
I know the story. That's why you were laughing.
Oh, we're gonna start here.
Just be ready to call a timeout if we get pressure on the sack.
Welcome back to Farragut. The Wildcats have a 10-back of Oak Ridge first down at the 35-yard line of the Admirals. 29.3 seconds to play. Blaine, protection breaking down. Looks, got to get rid of it, throws it, fires a pass. I don't know. There's about 5 shirts over there. I don't know who caught it or dropped it. It's incomplete at the 30-yard line. Good pressure there by Farragut.
It was Jarrell Jimerson who was the intended target, and I don't know how Blaine got away from the sack, and I don't know how he didn't throw an interception. There were so many jerseys there. Just a great job. You know, with second down, you're just about at the edge of field goal range. 20 seconds, time's not that big of a factor because you're probably not going for the end zone, right? If I'm Oak Ridge, I do 2 things. You got 2 plays to work with and 1 timeout. I'm throwing 1 deep shot to Malik. If that doesn't go, I run it with Wayne to try to pick up 2 or 3 more yards and get it to where Pearson wants it. Then I call a timeout and kick.
Quick pass is going to be caught by Jarrell. He's at the 35 and out of bounds at around the 30. They give him the 30-yard line. It'll be third down and 5 yards to go. 12.3 seconds to play. It is third down, sir. Every PA guy does that.
It's the new thing.
You gonna say something?
No, I'm just thinking with 12 seconds. If this was second down, I'd love the situation. With third down, I think you're still just trying to pick the first down up here. We'll see what Oak Ridge does. I'd be curious to see what they do.
Third down, 5 yards to go from the 30. 12 seconds to play. Blaine back to pass, can't take a sack. He avoids it. He's running. 30. Out of bounds he goes. Has a 10-back of Oak Ridge first down at the 20 with 4.8 seconds to play in the first half with Oak Ridge leading 21-7. Wildcats, I think, have 2 timeouts looking at the scoreboard there. Looks like I don't see Eli Pearson coming in. They don't have enough time to run another offensive play. I think you bring in.
I think if you had 6 or 7 seconds, you'd throw one up to Malik in the end zone. I think what they'll do right here, they're going to call a timeout. Like you said, Oak Ridge has 2, so there will be 1. I think Oak Ridge will probably ask Eli and Coach Mike Kelly, where does he want this? Left, right hash? Do you want it right in the middle? They'll basically snap it to Blaine, have him take a knee at what point of the field, and then immediately call that last timeout with about a second,
Alex,
2 seconds.
4.8 seconds. That's not a whole lot of time.
I wouldn't hand the ball off in high school. I wouldn't worry about handing the ball off. But you basically 5 seconds with another timeout. All you tell Blaine, I mean, these kids these days are in the shotgun, so you just snap it and tell him to take a step left, take a step right, or just, wherever he wants the ball. They are going to go ahead and send Eli out here, though. I mean, this is easily an Eli's range.
The clock keeper has been. I think I would. They might just run it off.
That's
here.
a good point.
Yeah. So they're gonna put the ball down at the 27-yard line, making this a 37-yard attempt from the right hash. 4.8 seconds to play in the first half. 21-7. The holder is Adam Washington. Pellegrin is the long snapper. Here comes a high snap. The kick is on its way. Hits it well. It's on its way. It's up. And it is good. Eli Pearson ends the first half with a 37-yard field goal. And the Wildcats lead at halftime over Farragut 24-7.
Just a really nice half of football. David is unsharp, if you will, I guess, dull as Oak Ridge looked. Kind of unsound, just making mental errors last week. It's been a total 180, a total flip from this time. Again, down there in the warm-ups, it just seemed very workmanlike and business-like. The attitude, it wasn't real loud. Kids weren't jumping up and yelling. I mean, it just looked like they were here with an expectation to take care of business. And in that first half, Mike, there was not much better Oak Ridge could have done.
No, they couldn't have. The excellent clock operation on that last drive, Alec. They drained it down as far as they could. They tried to get it into the end zone. Farragut played just fair enough defense to keep the Wildcats out of the end zone. But Eli Pearson is a weapon to be contended with. What a great kicker that young man is.
We're going to take a 3-minute timeout. Matter of fact, let's take a 4-minute timeout so that way we can try to adjust some stuff with the equipment here, see if we can get everything synced up. We'll be back in 4 minutes to Farragut High School. Wildcats lead Farragut 24-7. I promise that wasn't intentional. I was dead set. I was like, that's good. If they had had extra time,
The kick is low and no good. Charlie, soccer starts in 3 months. Fans, at this time, please direct your attention to the field where we will have our homecoming celebration.
That's the guy, baby. Sold out.
As part of the festivities during homecoming week, all Farragut students were allowed to nominate their classmates for homecoming court. The entire student body was also given
.07. Tonight's trivia question is this. The Wildcats traveled here to Farragut in time. The opening kickoff was returned for a touchdown, and it was all downhill. .207. Mike, without giving the answer, do you think you would know this one?
I certainly do, because I was there the night that happened, and I still feel the misery from that loss. It was awful. And my father was livid when that happened, so it was a bad night for the Wildcats.
Well, I'll tell you what, about half and half. I would have known about half of these this year. This one, I would have just thrown a number out there. I would not have known it. We're trying to wait to go to break because so many people will immediately text that number within about 10 seconds, and we don't want people going, people texting it for the next 5 minutes if we go to break. So we're trying to make Cecil Coffee texted in and said 12. I'll give you a hint. It's higher than that. Much higher than that. I'll read the question one more time in case somebody tuned in late again. This is brought to you by Fats Barbecue. The trivia question is, the Wildcats traveled here to Farragut in 1981 under the new leadership of head coach Bill Young. The Wildcats were penalized on the opening kickoff for a delay of game because they didn't walk down from the high school at the right time. The opening kickoff was returned for a touchdown, and it was all downhill from there. The loss that night to Farragut ended a winning streak by Oak Ridge. It was a long winning streak. How long was the winning streak?
Did I make it too hard this week, Alex?
Maybe. I'll give him a hint. They lost to Dobbins-Bennett in Game 5 of the 1979 season, and they did not lose again until Farragut in 1981. So if some historians, I'm thinking of a guy like Keith Hyatt.
And in between, they won 2 state championships.
Yeah, I think that was the Bill Zelliger teams?
Yes.
I believe.
I'm surprised Bill and Marcia haven't texted us on that one, because I know they know this number. Should we take a break here?
Yeah, as soon as we take a break, somebody will text the answer, and then we'll
Yeah.
be putting people off for 5 minutes.
Well, let's take a break here. Our score here at halftime, Oak Ridge on top, 24-7. We are live on FM 92.7, FM 94.7. We are streaming the game live on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. We're also on prepradio.com. Mark and Shauna have completed the stats. 24-7 Oak Ridge. We'll be back with a look at those stats following this 4-minute timeout. I hope so. Was you?
I think so. I don't know if anybody's going to get it. Somebody from that team would have had that memorized.
What's that?
Somebody from that team would have memorized.
Yeah.
Again, everyone, let's give another round of applause to all of our 2025 homecoming boards. Congratulations, Maggie Doyle. Fans, that concludes our ceremony tonight for Homecoming 2025. Please stay around after the game for a special presentation of the Admiral Marching Band, where they will perform their normal halftime performance. Please stick around just after the game for a performance by the Marching Admirals.
What's wrong with the live stream? What's going on?
The audio is 7 seconds ahead of the video.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember listening to the tape last week, and it was doing that. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I know what you're
No,
saying.
we have no idea why.
That's crazy,
It's
Dave.
never done it before.
That is crazy.
Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed on anything we do.
Like Alex said, some of this technology just
Yeah.
over our heads.
Sounds like Mark and I need to sometime this week just basically practice with it. I saw that. Oh, I saw you nearly trip. Huh? I saw you nearly trip. I said, I saw that. Never mind.
Welcome back.
Not yet. I'll tell Mike. I'll tell Mike to tell you when you start. You're just gonna say when I point to you, tell Sean to go.
Okay, Shauna, go.
Where Oak Ridge leads at halftime by a score of 24 7. Looking at the first half statistics, first for Oak Ridge, they're led on the ground by Wayne Gibson. He has 12 carries for 54 yards. That's an average of 4.5 yards per carry. Quarterback Blaine Stansberry's carried the ball 5 times for the Wildcats, totaling 41 yards, so he's averaging 8.2 yards per carry. So as a team, the Wildcats have 17 rushes for 95 yards on the ground. Through the air, quarterback Blaine Stansberry, he's 13 of 15 for 217 yards. Receiving, he does have 1 touchdown. Receiving is led by Malik Howard. He has 5 receptions for 110 yards, one of those for a touchdown. Jarrell Jimerson has 7 receptions for 97 yards. And Wayne Gibson has a 10-yard reception. One thing I failed to mention was that Blaine Stansberry has 2 rushing touchdowns. So we have a total of 3 touchdowns, 2 by Blaine Stansberry running and 1 by Malik Howard receiving. So as a team, the Wildcats had 95 yards on the ground, 217 yards through the air for a total offense tonight of 312 yards. Wildcats have 13 first downs in the ballgame. They have been penalized 5 times for 60 yards. Now looking at the Farragut Admirals, they're led on the ground by number 14, Nathan Jacobs. He has 39 yards on 10 carries. Quarterback for the Admirals, Corbin Hobson, he has 3 carries, netting -4 yards. So as a team, the Admirals have rushed the ball 13 times, gaining 35 yards on the ground. That's an average of 2.7 yards per gain. Something that the Wildcats seem to have done almost all season is keeping the opposing team, their defense, or Oak Ridge's defense, averaging, limiting the opponent to less than 3 yards per carry. So very good job by the Oak Ridge defense again tonight. Through the air for the Admirals. Wow. Corbin Hobson, he's 6 of 12 for 90 yards. Receiving for the Admirals, they're led by Max Garfield. He has a 36-yard reception. Anderson Glover with a 20-yard reception. Nathan Jacobs, 2 receptions totaling 9 yards. And Aaron Heatherly has a 5-yard reception for the Admirals. So the Admirals have 35 yards on the ground. They have 90 yards through the air for a total offense of 125 yards. Admirals have 6 first downs in the first half. They've been penalized twice for 20 yards. Looking at teams side by side, Oak Ridge, rushing yards, 95. Farragut, 35. Through the air, passing yards, Oak Ridge has 217 passing yards, or receiving yards, Farragut, 90. Total offense, Oak Ridge with 312 total offensive yards in the first half, Farragut, 125. First downs, Oak Ridge, 13, Farragut, 6. Penalties, Oak Ridge, 5 penalties for 60 yards, Farragut, 2 penalties for 20 yards. Time of possession, Oak Ridge has had the ball 13 minutes, 17 seconds, Farragut, 10 minutes and 43 seconds. Again, this is Mark Haste. After telling you the halftime score, Oak Ridge on top of the Admirals by a score of 24-7. David?
Thanks a lot, Mark. I appreciate that. 24-7 is the score. The Wildcats in the lead. Guys, the Wildcats did pretty much what they wanted to do, with the exception of not converting on that 4th down play. They have totally dominated this game.
They really have, and Mike, you just whispered to me a moment ago before we came back on the air, only 5 penalties. Now, 5 penalties for 50 yards. You could be cleaner, but certainly compared to last week, it felt like a lot cleaner half. Really, David, it was only that one drive. I think they picked up 3 or 4 of the penalties on that one drive. So with the exception of a couple slip-ups there towards the very end, it was a very, very clean ball game. One that I think Oak Ridge will look back at the film study over the next couple of days and be much more happy than they were this time last week, I guess Saturday morning when they started watching the film after the Hardin Valley game.
Obviously, I made the question a little bit too hard, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a break here in a second. The third caller who or texter at 865-310-7207 will win the $30 package from Fats Barbecue. Our score at the half, 24-7. We'll be back for the second half in 60 seconds.
You didn't read the answer, did you? You didn't read the answer, did you?
What?
You didn't. What? You ever had Nerds Rope? Nerds Rope, you want to try one? It's a little gummy cluster. It's a little sour candy with gummy in it. Oh, come on, just try one.
Should we just give it to somebody? Like Teddy? I'm going to let you bring it out and give the answer. Think of somebody to give it to.
I'm more a baby Ruth.
Cecil?
Has anybody texted multiple about one this year?
No, not really. Give it to Cecil. Okay.
Welcome back to Farragut High School. As we wrap up the Laura Lynn Green State Farm halftime report, we are going to give it away. Congratulations to John Mallett. John Mallett, the answer to the trivia game. Oak Ridge had a long winning streak that was broken after Farragut defeated the Wildcats in 1981. Bill Young's first game as coach of the Wildcats. The answer, 29 straight wins. They lost to Dobbins Bennett in Game 5 of the 1979 season and didn't lose again until Farragut in 1981. Congratulations to John Mallett for winning the Fats Barbecue trivia question. You'll get a meal valued at $30, a family meal from Fats Barbecue.
I think I remember the headline in the Knoxville News Sentinel that said Wildcats have 29 lives, and that's how it ended at 29.
That's
so
good.
A little bit too tough of the question there. I'll make it much easier next week for the Maryville ball game as the Wildcats are getting ready to receive the second half kickoff. Wildcats on top 24-7 in this ball game here from Farragut. The Wildcats with a win will have a home playoff ball game in the first round. They'll play the Maryville Rebels next week at Maryville. That'll be another Thursday night ball game with a chance to host two if they can win. Here's the kick by Farragut. It's high, end over end. It's returnable at the 2, 5, 10, 15, 20. Up to the 25-yard line, and that is where Oak Ridge will take over. First down and 10 yards to go.
Nice start from the Oak Ridge special teams unit again. Tyree with another pretty good return there. Gets it up close to the 24. They'll call it the 25-yard line. Oak Ridge not necessarily used to returning a bunch of those. The last Oak Ridge has played, when you get up to 6A, you play a lot of good teams that, you know, you got 1,600 kids in a school each and every week. One of those guys can kick. So Oak Ridge hasn't had a lot of returning opportunities, but tonight they've had a couple.
First down, 10 yards to go from the Wildcat 25, just underway. Second half here from Farragut on this Thursday night. Kind of cool night. Our camera guys came in. Didn't surprise me. They got a little chilly down on the sideline. Blaine's might be a busted play because whatever he wanted to do, he does get back, I think, to the line of scrimmage, but that's about it.
I thought it was actually intentional. They're going to fake the little bubble screen out to the left to Jarrell that they throw so many, usually several times a game they'll throw that, whether it's to Jarrell or Adam or somebody. They're going to fake that and just have a quarterback draw. But Farragut had so much internal penetration early on. They had 3 defensive linemen back into the backfield. It just it kind of busted it from the start.
Well, the stream is working perfectly right now for the second consecutive week at halftime. It'll be no gain on the play. Second down, 10 from the Wildcat 25-yard line. Blaine's going to hand it off to Wayne Gibson. Cuts outside, 2 yards at most. It'll be third and long facing the Wildcats.
So I think next week we got 2 options. We either start the stream about 2 hours ahead of time, or we start it, immediately shut everything down and restart it, and then hopefully the second time's the charm for the third week in a row.
Right. I mean, this has never happened until these last 2 weeks. It's happened that way. But whatever, we apologize for that. It's technology. You talked about it. Play clocks aren't working. Our stream didn't work, but now seems to be working perfectly right now. Third down for the Wildcats. Third down and 8. Stansbury across the way. That's a 10 back of Oak Ridge first down at the 35-yard line. Catch is made, I believe, by Malik Howard. And it is indeed a 10 back of Oak Ridge first down.
The trip's right that time. Little eye candy out to the right. Zayden Williams and, again, Jimerson on that fake bubble screen. Blaine gets the ball, kind of shoulder fakes it that way. He gives a little pump fake to the defenders and then just finds Malik Howard in the soft spot of that defense. He needed about 10 yards. He got about 8, and all he did was turn, lower his shoulder, and fall forward, and he got enough for the first down. Great play, great execution.
Ball right around the 36-yard line, just a little bit shy of that. First down, 10 yards to go. Wildcats with receivers left and right once again. Jarrell comes in motion. Handoff goes to Wayne Gibson as a blocker in front, 35. Can't get outside, though, and belted behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard on the play.
Yeah, dangerous play. Wayne was tied up down low, and then it looks like Smith came in there and kind of finished him off. He had a guy down low and then had the guy down up top. He was kind of unprotected there, but thankfully Wayne's all right, but it is a loss of 1, bringing up 2nd and 11.
Adam Washington will be a receiver, split out to the right. Zayden Williams, Malik Howard, Jarrell Jimerson to the left. Wayne Gibson is the quarterback. We'll set the offensive line here in a second following this play. It's second down, 11 yards to go. 9:20 to play, third quarter, 24-7. Oak Ridge in the lead. Here's a quick pass out of the backfield. The Wildcats across the 40 up to the 44-yard line. Actually, they're going to say he went out at the 42. So it'll be third down and about 4 yards to go.
Left to right, left tackle senior Jared Bafford, left guard senior Elijah Young. In the middle, you've got center Caden Chipman. Torrey Holt is the right guard, and right tackle is Nate Stevens.
Remember, next Thursday, another ball game for the Wildcats at Maryville. Another Thursday night ball game the night before Halloween. Third down, 4 yards to go. Ball is at the 42-yard line. Hard count that time. Farragut did not move. They didn't jump. Wildcats wearing their all-white jerseys with gray pants. The Admirals wearing their traditional blue jerseys, gray with silver helmets with the Dallas Cowboys star on the side of the helmet. Wildcats, here's the pitch, and the Wildcats are not going to get anything. They're going to be forced to punt for the first time tonight.
Yeah, and that's saying something here early on in the third quarter. Just a little option play to the short side of the field. They went left with it, and there's just really nowhere to go. Again, tip your cap to Farragut on defense. They bend, but they didn't break that time. As you know, they allowed 15, 20 yards from Oak Ridge, but eventually they forced a punt and a nice stop there. We'll see Eli Pearson hasn't had a lot of touches, but on his, even though the weather's cooled down, David, at least place kicking wise, he seems to be booming the ball pretty well.
Got plenty of time, gets one high, end over end kick. It's going to be fielded at around the 20-yard line, and that is where Farragut, very high kick, not returnable. He looked good. He looked good. I'm not saying it's because of my interview with him yesterday, but boy, he is really kicking the ball well.
Yes, he definitely is. That punt proved that he can also, not only can he kick the ball for field goals and extra points, he can punt, because that was a beautiful punt, and they weren't able to do anything with it but make a fair catch.
8:27 to play. We're in the third quarter, 24-7. The Wildcats in the lead. Hobson and the Admirals come onto the field. They'll start the drive at the 20-yard line, just beyond it, between the 20 and the 21. They have 3 receivers to the right, one way here to the left on the Farragut sideline. The Wildcats put 4 on the front. Hobson's going to hand it to the running back, and he moves the ball forward. J.T. Gormley and company try to make the tackle, but the line pushes him forward to around the 27-yard line. It's a pretty good gain on first down.
Yeah, we've seen Farragut have some success on early downs at times throughout this ball game, but they just haven't been able to follow that up with consistent play on second and third down, So we'll see what they do here. Kind of a tight formation. Makes you think they might try to run it again here on 2nd and 4.
Under 8 minutes to play, third quarter. Hobson with 2 receivers short. Going to drop back to pass. Pressured across the way. High pass. That's going to be pass interference. It's inadvertent, but it happened. I mean, Wildcat got kind of tangled up in the feet of the receiver, and that's going to be a penalty against Oak Ridge. Good call by the official.
What's a shame is the Farragut player tripping actually forced Jarrell Jimerson to trip. I do think he got there before that, but I think the fall actually was on Farragut. I think it was just kind of their feet got tangled up. But like you said, I think it's a good call, but just an unfortunate one for Oak Ridge. And I want to comment something. I love, and we see this every week, the official that throws the flag, and then about 5 seconds later, another official throws their flag as if to go, oh yeah, that was right. I mean, what's the point of that? You either saw it or you didn't. Don't wait till someone else throws it.
You're in a bad mood today, Alex. Just
Too many
kidding.
steps in this place.
First down, 10 yards to go. Hobson back to pass, goes deep again. He's open. He's got it. 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Admirals. So Farragut comes right back here with the Wildcats unable to get that first drive going. And Farragut comes with a long touchdown pass. And with 7:38 to play in the third quarter, it is now 24-13.
Hobson to Garfield, the senior 6'1", 190-pound wide receiver. That's what they have him listed at. Two good-looking athletes there. There is a discussion back near the 40-yard line, though. The lights have stopped flickering. I don't know if they changed the bulbs or if they've realized maybe there's cause for pause for the celebration. I think they're going to wave the flag off. Interesting. I guess they saw something and then they didn't.
Like you said, either you saw it or you didn't, right?
I don't quite understand that one.
It'll be the Admirals going for the extra point. 24-13, 7:38 to play. Wildcats got to get their offense going. They sputtered on their first drive as they'll go for the extra point. $7:38 to play. Third quarter, live from Farragut. Next Thursday will be at Maryville. First time in several years. Kick is on its way. It's up good. 24-14 our score. We'll take a break. We'll send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll be back with the Farragut kickoff in 2 minutes.
Serving as the Chief Nursing Officer here at Canada Turkey Creek Medical Center.
We need a long, sustained scoring drive here.
I love the collaboration.
Your boy Bijan, he's a pretty good player.
He's really good. I think he might be the best running back in football.
It's kind of like the Titans with Derrick Henry, though. You need to draft that guy last with the rest of your teams because their lifespans are so short, you know.
It's a true partnership.
Yeah.
Natural ingredients, a dash of our signature dry rub, homemade sauces perfected and made in-house daily. No one can match delicious, high-quality, big Kahuna wings. But we offer so much more than wings. From unique, mouth-watering appetizers to our gourmet burgers,
We can hold it here.
salads, quality ingredients, extraordinary dishes in a family-friendly environment. Big Kahuna wings.
And Oak Ridge.
Your taste buds forever.
Fans, we have the best sponsors in all the land. Thank you, Carroll Insurance, Anchor Knocker, Chick-fil-A, Turkey Creek, and Kingston Overlook, Big Kahuna Wings, Graphics Creative, First Baptist Concord, Glass Construction, Curtis College Nursing, Bourne Properties, East Tennessee Spine and Sport. Big Kahuna Wings, Graphic Creations, First Baptist Concord, East Tennessee Spine and Sport, Graham and Cook Insurance, Oven and Health, Park West Medical.
58-yard touchdown pass. Welcome back to Farragut High School. On our broadcast, we'd like to thank our sponsors. We'll go down the list. The Fox Insurance Group, OBGYN Associates of Oak Ridge, East Tennessee Spine and Sport, the Oak Ridge Utility District, Betsy Coleman Realty, the Jackson Square Barbershop, Nathan Miser with Shelter Insurance, the Knoxville Orthopedic Clinic of Oak Ridge, Dr. Bill Linehan, DDS, Tin Bank of Oak Ridge, Summit Medical Group of Oak Ridge, TK Wheeler Jewelers, Dr. John Burgess, DDS, Main Street Lofts, and MacArthur Animal Hospital.
Farragut about to kick off. We'll get the rest of our wonderful sponsors on in a moment. Here is the kick. It's a wobbly kick. It's going to be fielded at the 1, 5, 10, 15. I believe that is Tyree, 30 to the 25-yard line. And that was Jarrell Jimerson. My apologies for that. Go ahead.
I'd also like to thank the Pizza Inn, Jimmy Norman with Joyce, Meredith, Flitcroft, and Norman, Fats Barbecue, the Oak Ridge Pharmacy, David Ewen, CPA, Sexton Automotive of Oak Ridge, the Oak Ridge Boosters Club, Tennessee Army National Guard, Bob's Washboard, Laundromat, and Bob's Wash and Fold, and of course, Laura Lynn Green with State Farm Insurance.
The Wildcat offense, which was 3 and out, a punt the last drive. We'll start this drive right at the 25-yard line. Wildcats answered the last time they scored. And let's see what they can do here. They'll split out Adam Washington to the right side, which is the near sideline closest to us. 3 receivers to the left. Wayne Gibson, the running back for the Wildcats. Blaine's going to pass it. Pass is caught. He's going to double pass. Wide open. He's under it. It's caught. 30, 25-yard line. It's a beautiful throw and a beautiful catch. A great play. 1st and 10 Wildcats.
Beautiful play design. We talked a couple drives ago. Oak Ridge does that little bubble screen out, and a lot of times it's behind the line of scrimmage. So when Oak Ridge threw the ball behind the line of scrimmage that time, as Oak Ridge moves to the line with some pace, the defense wasn't expecting that. Also, I'll get to the end of that after this play.
Wildcats, Wayne Gibson running, moves the ball across the 20. A flag goes down. We're going to have probably another hold against the Wildcats, but a beautiful play. Go ahead.
It was a beautiful play, but what set it up was what I said a moment ago, but what made that play spectacular was the timing. I believe it's Jarrell that caught that pass, but the wide receiver was blocking behind, the play was behind the line of scrimmage, and so the receiver didn't just take off immediately. He went towards the defensive back and kind of sputtered his feet like he was going to block, and he held it there for a solid 1.5 to 2 seconds. So eventually the defender thinks, I've got to fight off this block. So when he sheds Jarrell then takes off, and all that happens kind of synchronously, and all of a sudden he's wide open. Just a beautiful play call and tremendous execution. Jarrell.
Wildcats penalized. It's going to be 1st down, 20 yards to go. The ball at the Farragut 35-yard line, 6:39 to play. Wildcats running again, not a whole lot of yardage, maybe 3 at most. It'll be 2nd down and 17 yards to go.
And I misspoke. It was not Jarrell Jimerson that caught it. Jarrell caught the initial behind the line of scrimmage pass, and then Zayden was the one that released from the fake block, released and caught the ball downfield. So Jarrell Jimerson's got a perfect passer rating right now, 1 of 1.
2nd down, 17 yards to go. The ball is resting at the 31-yard line. The Wildcats looking over to the sideline. The play signaled in through James Branson, assistant coach of the Wildcats. Wildcats, 2nd down, 17 yards to go. Blaine has all day to pass. Looks across the way, wide open, touchdown Oak Ridge! Jarrell Jimerson into the end zone, and Oak Ridge has the answer once again. Touchdown Wildcats.
And it starts up front, great blocking. Blaine had all day to throw it, and what a read from the senior, one of the leaders of this team, Blaine Stansberry. There was nothing open initially. It looked like he was looking towards Malik, and it took a minute to develop because the play was so far downfield, but Darrell coming from that right slot position, as soon as he cut towards the goal line on that post route, he opened up wide open, and Blaine waited, found him, and just threw a dart in wide open for end zone. Great read by Blaine, great play call, and here's an even better extra point attempt, up and good. Eli Pearson extends the Oak Ridge lead. It's now 31-14, 5:47 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. We'll be back in 60 seconds to Farragut High School. That was an awesome play call. You You didn't get a picture. You got a picture.
I know. I tried. I said I can get it. I was trying to get a sideline picture.
How many yards was that?
31.
And here's the kick by Eli once again. He hits it well. Once again, that's going to be a touchback, and the Admirals will take over 1st and 10 at the 20. Wildcats do have the answer touchdown there, Mike Sheehan. The Wildcats back on top, 31-14. The 3 Wildcats just looking really good on that.
Yeah, they really are. They struck back like they should. That one great play there where they, Blaine Stansbury threw it backwards to Jarrell Jemerson, and Jarrell threw a great pass to Zayden Williams for that big long gainer to put the Wildcats in position to get down there and score. And then Jarrell Jemerson made a great catch for the touchdown.
Here comes Farragut, first down, 10 yards to go. All the touchdowns tonight sponsored by the class of 1989, Oak Ridge High School. Appreciate them. Hobson to pass. Pass is going to be incomplete. Just at the moment where he was about to deliver the pass, he was about to be delivered to the turf and threw the ball maybe a little sooner than he wanted to. It's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Liam Gerber dodged one blocker. I think it was the right tackle, and was in his face right when he was about to throw. And thank you, like you said, he had a guy on a slant and just kind of threw it way wide of him, just trying to get rid of it and avoid a big hit.
31-14 Wildcats. We're in the third quarter. 5 minutes, 43 seconds to play third quarter. Remember, we'll have interviews at the end of the ball game. Coach Rang and some players. We'll have Mark and Shauna's stats. Quarterback hands it to the back. There was a huge hole in the left side, but the Wildcats made a really nice recovery. I thought he was going to go farther, but all of a sudden, was it J.T. Gormley?
I think Gormley and Bishop were both over there. It was a nice play. So now it's 3rd and 6, so you kind of force Farragut's hand. You can kind of expect a pass here, and we've seen Oak Ridge in these spots early on in this ball game have success bringing pressure. We'll see if they bring anybody on a blitz right here.
3rd down, 6 yards to go at the 24-yard line. Wildcats shift a little bit on defense. Hobson to pass. Lots of pressure. He avoids the first way. The Wildcats trying to get in. Passes incomplete. Threw it down in the dirt. And it'll be 4th down, and they'll be forced to punt.
Yeah, nice job. Initially, Oak Ridge did bring a couple linebackers, so it forced the quarterback Hobson to roll out right. Nice pursuit by Caden Stewart. Forced him to try to throw the ball. He didn't have anywhere to run because of Stewart's pursuit. And then Liam Gerber did a terrific job staying with his man, but also staying home enough to where the quarterback, again, couldn't tuck it and run, but Gerber didn't get so far kind of locked into the quarterback that he lost the wide receiver. He was there to kind of help bat that ball down.
5:03 to play, third quarter. The Wildcats, Jarrell Jemerson standing back at the 35-yard line. Low snap, lots of pressure, got it away. It's a good punt. Wildcats have come so close. Jarrell watches it go dead and down by Farragut at the 38-yard line. The Wildcats had at least 5 shirts back there.
They're gotten close. One thing, David, I would like to mention is Oak Ridge has done so many different things this week. And you might think at first, well, are you shooting all your bullets with Maryville coming up next week? I love what Oak Ridge is doing because they're putting so many different things on film. Now Maryville watching tonight's game probably right now thinking, oh, God, we got to make sure our safeties and our corners know that double pass could be coming, And so Oak Ridge is doing so many things. They're giving Maryville stuff that they can't key in on one thing this week.
Wildcats running the ball across the 40 up to the 42-yard line. Wildcats looking good, 31-14. Much better than last week, guys.
Much, much better. It's really not close, Mike. You made a comment in the first half. Don't you do it again, but so far so good. Not a lot of flags being thrown.
Yeah, not in this half. They definitely cleaned it up a little bit, and the Wildcats are playing great right now. 31-14.
Gain of 4 on the previous play. It's 2nd down, 6 yards to go from the 42-yard line. Blaine, the all-time leading passer in Oak Ridge history, is dropping back to pass across the way, wide open. Pass is caught. for a 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down at around the 48-yard line. I think it was Zayden Williams on the reception, and it is indeed 1st and 10 Wildcats.
It was. Oak Ridge has done a nice job. Two things really, I think, from Blaine tonight that I've seen with his wide receivers. He's spreading the ball around, lots of different guys. I think even when Will was in there, I don't know that I've seen the ball dispersed more evenly to receivers and backs all season than tonight. The other thing they're doing, they're finding the soft spots. Farragut's not playing real close. Perhaps they're afraid of Oak Ridge beating them with the deep play, but Blaine's doing a nice job just checking down and finding those little quick, easy pitches and catches.
3 receivers to the right, which is the near sideline to us. Now Malik goes in motion. He sets up in a slot. Blaine's going to hand it off to Wayne. Wayne's across the 50, moves the ball to the 46-yard line. Well, Kevin gets excited down there, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
Former
does.
Wildcat.
I love it.
He was kind of concerned when we were setting up so close to them. He said, I don't want to embarrass myself, but I'm all about it. I mean, he's all Wildcat, that's for sure.
The thought that ran through my mind earlier is, you know, for those who don't know, he helps Coach Free coach the baseball team. I wonder if he's this boisterous in the dugout as well.
I don't think he is, but, you know, he's second down, 5 yards to go for the Wildcats. Down to 3:04 and counting. Miles Bergen doing our scoreboard up top. Preston Fetters, Caleb Jackson, Grayson Brown, along with David Urbanowitz. Brian Bennett back at the station. Here's Wayne moving the ball for a 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down across the 40 down to the Farragut 38. The Wildcat offense looking really crisp. They're executing the offensive line. Is getting big holes. Farragut's a young team. It's I'm not making any excuses for them. It's Farragut. You know, we got beaten by them last year, and we suffered a few defeats, but the Wildcats just looking so crisp. Coach Rank told me they had a really good week of practice, a very good week of practice.
That's good to hear, and you know, again, that's why winning a game like last week, it's not all bad. Obviously, the win's good, but winning a game but still being able to look back at your team and have guys take ownership and go, you know what, I didn't play well, or I did make too many mistakes. If you win and you can still do that, then that's just all the better that you can get. It just leaves more room for improvement, and the Wildcats have done that right here.
1st and 10, the Wildcats running again. Here comes Wayne, cutting across to the 31-yard line. Wildcat offensive line just opening up some really big holes. I've said this before, if the Wildcats win tonight, they will assure themselves, they're already in the playoffs. We are going to the playoffs, but they will assure themselves of a home playoff game in the first round. If they somehow can win next week against Maryville, they'll have the first 2 at home.
And that's just crazy to me that we're got 2 games left, and still, as an Oak Ridge is undefeated, you're not guaranteed at least one. As many teams as make the playoffs these days compared to 20, 30, 40 years ago. But hey, you got to do what you do, control what you can control, and hey, if Oak Ridge wins tonight, that's step number 1.
Second down, a long 2 to go for a first. Wayne's running again. This time he is not going far. He's down at the 35-yard line. Yeah, but you got to look at the region. I mean, you've got Maryville, they're undefeated. We're undefeated in the region. Bradley only has the 1 loss in the region. So that's why it's all jumbled up like that.
Yeah, no question. And ultimately, that's all that matters for playoff seeding is the region. And but it's just crazy to think, as good of a season as Oak Ridge has had, here we are, 2 games left, and still you're not guaranteed that spot.
Here come the Wildcats, 3rd down and 7 yards to go. Under a minute to play. Blaine back to pass across the way. Pass is caught for a 10 bank of Oak Ridge first down up to the 25-yard line. Whenever they've needed to convert a 3rd down, they've just been able to find somebody in the secondary, and that is another first down for the Wildcats. Another great throw by Blaine.
I don't know what the stats will be at the end of the night, but I think this is one of Blaine's best games I've seen as a Wildcat. He's been sharp. He's been with it all night. But the thing that I've loved, he had over 312 yards in the first half. Total for the offense. But what I was going to say, Blaine on that last play, he's just got a nice touch. He's throwing a catchable ball. That's one where a lot of quarterbacks would zip that in there and maybe throw a dart, and the receivers can't quite catch it coming out of the break. He's just delivering a nice pass. Defenders aren't anywhere near it. The placement's been good. The touch has been good. And his decision-making, he's been all over it tonight.
Some of our best quarterbacks, Mike Underwood, Mitchell Gibbons, they all threw very catchable passes. Here's Blaine running this time. He moves the ball. He already has 2 touchdowns. He's inside the 20, down to around the 18-yard line. One of the Admirals is slow to get up. 20 seconds to play here in the 3rd quarter. That might have been the final play. I'll hold it just for a second. I don't know if Coach Rang wants to go ahead and run one more play. We're down to 10. I don't think there will. We will play in the fourth quarter. The Wildcats lead it 31-14. We'll be back with the fourth and final quarter from Farragut in 2 minutes.
With your score, Oak Ridge 31, Farragut 14.
Because we know your heart beats for more than just you. It beats for the people, moments, and dreams that matter most. More heart in more places for you. Covenant Health.
I was so sure of myself. So adamant that was the I think we got hurt trying to buy time for that at halftime. Old school.
Yeah, really. I didn't know they made those frescoes.
Not really. I was. It's like a 12-hour.
That little timber pump
Oh yeah.
it would be low leak blue timber pump. That would be the leak pumping on the black line back.
Me, I can't carry a note in a bag.
And we appreciate Sexton Automotive. They've been with us for a long, long time, along with our other sponsors. And we, as Alex, I hear you say it all the time, we couldn't have these broadcasts if we didn't have these guys. We have a staff of about 10, almost every single game almost. And, you know, you all don't make a whole lot of money.
Yeah, and with you promising to double Mark Haston my salary this year, I don't know how we would do it.
All I know is the Wildcats have a 31-14 lead, but we do appreciate all of our sponsors and really stop by them, do business with them. Obviously, I mean, because they are obviously supporting Oak Ridge. Most of them have been with us 15, 20 years or so.
I was saying what's important too. Don't just support them, but let them know, hey, we appreciate you allowing these guys to do the broadcast, because again, without them, it's not possible.
Blaine back to pass, rolls to his right, throws it into the end zone. It's up for grabs. Did he make that catch? He did. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. Right on the sideline, a great catch, and the Wildcats have another touchdown on the board.
If it was basketball, they'd call him for over the back, but in football, they say you got mossed. He jumped up over the back of the guy and just simply snatched it. The other guy just thought, that poor corner just reached his hands up thinking he was in great position. He was. The only problem, one of the only guys in the country with that size and ability to go up and make that play, Malik Howard, showing you why every college in America wants him playing for them in a couple years.
And it's 37-14, and once again, it'll be Eli Pearson to attempt the extra point. 11:58 to play in the game. Ball is down, lots of pressure, but the kick by Eli is good. Oak Ridge all over the Admirals, and we love it in the Ridge. 38-14 our score. We'll be back to Farragut High School in 60 seconds.
I took some pictures.
I think this is one of Blaine's best games he ever played. And he was 13 for 15 at halftime.
He had 217 at the half. He was 15 for 17.
So Malik Howard brings us out of the break on FM 92.7 as Eli kicks it. And guess what? It's another touchback. All of his kicks have gone out of the end zone. Another great night for Eli on television, showing out that beautiful leg. And that's why, and I'm going to go over there and talk to Mark Packer and those guys. Eli Pearson should be in consideration for Mr. Football Kicker in the state of Tennessee. I nominated him yesterday. I've got an opportunity to do that, and I wish other coaches who are watching or listening to us would do the same.
Yeah, he's just a phenomenal talent, great young man, one of the quietest kids you'll probably ever meet, but he's just a really nice, humble kid, but he works so hard at it. I've seen him on his off days going out, putting in time, and he and Coach Kelly have put in a lot of effort. You don't just get that good on talent alone.
First down run for about, I don't know, a yard or so, not much more than that, but actually, Alex, ask Mike about Eli yesterday. Eli was on the show yesterday with me.
He was so candid, it was unbelievable. And David asked some great questions. And this, Eli is not one to speak out, but he was in a real talkative mood last night. And some of the things he said were very, very entertaining. And everybody needs to go back and watch the crunch time from last night. It was a great show.
Alex, I'll tell you in a minute, as Hobson drops back to pass across the way, it's incomplete. One of the questions I asked him, and I don't know where it came from, I asked him, if you had a conjoined twin, who would you, on the football team, would you not want to have as your twin? That was one of my questions. And I don't know where it came from.
Well, I got to know the answer.
I
would assume he'd said one of the linemen or something.
I honestly don't remember. He did, because they're big. That's what he said. That's what he said. Yeah. Third down, 9 yards to go for the Admirals. 38-14, Oak Ridge. Hobson to pass across the way. Intercepted by, I thought, Oak Ridge, right around the 30.
Yeah, McClure, the freshman, Josiah McClure, just jumped that little curl route and almost had it. The receiver had to play defensive back there, and it was a nice job of it. Here comes the punt unit. We'll go over the stats at the end of the game, but David, Oak Ridge has scored 6 times tonight. Blaine Stansberry is responsible or played a part in all 6. He's rushed for 2 touchdowns, and he's thrown for 4. This is going to go down as a historic night for Blaine, one of his better games he's had, and what a career. That's saying a lot.
Looks like Mike wants to say something.
Yeah, Eli Young was the one he said that was his conjoined twin.
Wildcats back to receive the punt. Here it is. Jarrell calls for a fair catch and makes it at the 42-yard line. The Wildcats are going to take over. I hate to tell you this, Mike Underwood. I know you're watching. You and Chip Hughley are watching, but he is getting very close to the single-season touchdown mark, which Mike Underwood has held since 1991. I think he had 25 that year, and he's pushing that. He is, single digits away from that.
And what makes it so impressive, too, is it's one thing to just throw a bunch of balls to Will. It's another thing to alter that path and start throwing a bunch to Malik when he becomes the main target. And it's a whole different thing to do what he's doing tonight, which is, throw into Jarrell, throw into Wayne out of the backfield, throw into Malik, throw into the ball has been dispersed so evenly. It's been impressive.
Wildcats running the ball on first down. Not much there for Wayne. He's tackled hard. Farragut's a proud football program. They have struggled out of the gate, but they are 2-2. I mean, they're probably going to make the playoffs. Might be the 4th seed. I think probably, obviously Maryville, Oak Ridge, and Bradley are going to be the top 3 seeds, but I think since they have a victory over Hardin Valley and they have a victory over Bearden, I think they're probably going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, Torrey Hunt just went out, the right tackle. It may be Tristan Chartrain that's come in to replace him momentarily.
Here comes Blaine rolling to his right. Wide open man in the flats, complete. Not a first down and the first catch, and they're going to say he went out right at the 50-yard line. where it'll be third down and about a yard to go, maybe a little farther than third down and about 3 yards to go.
I don't know if we've got that on the replay. Coach Ring, he's still got it. It looks like he's in playing day shape. He just sprinted about 15 yards. I think he thought the hit was a little bit late and thought that potentially a couple Oak Ridge players might try to respond. He sprinted down there, and thankfully nothing was happening, so it was for nothing, but Coach still got it.
Yeah, it's a 10-back of first down. I heard Coach McKeithen down there say, calm down, everybody, calm down. He's up here in the booth here with us. We're in the same booth with the coaches, which we don't, I mean, you know.
It's honestly, though, it's a really cool experience for us.
It is.
I don't know if the fans, how much they're hearing or not hearing, but I'll tell you.
First and 10 for the Wildcats. Blaine's going to go deep across the way. Nice catch. Once again, a 10-back of Oak Ridge first down across the 30, down to the Farragut 29-yard line. The Wildcats just doing what they want against the Admirals, and I love it.
And again, those big guys up front, Chartrand, Chapman, Jared Bafford, Elijah Young, Nate Stevens, held up for so long and gave Blaine so much time. But again, that's one where Blaine looks to the flats, looks at Jarrell. It's not there. Has to be patient. Move his eyes across the middle of the field to Adam Washington, who's coming across on that slant. He does it. He delivers a nice throw, and Adam does the rest.
9 minutes, 43 seconds to play in the ball game. 38-14 Wildcats, first and 10. Another 10-back of Oak Ridge first down. The Wildcats, Wayne with a run break to tackle 20 down to the 15-yard line. That's another 10-back of Oak Ridge first down. He broke that first wave.
Yeah. Wayne has been great the last several weeks. He's been great all year on defense, but at the running back position, he's been really nice and growing into this role since Mill went out with the injury. I'll say this, though. If Oak Ridge can convert here and score, this will be the last drive that I would put the starters out, especially Blaine and Wayne. As much usage as they have, a guy like Malik as well, I think I'd start getting some new guys in here with a big game coming up a week from now.
You know, one thing I was going to say, and I'll get to this after this play, the Wildcats have it first and 10, 9 minutes to play in the ball game. The ball is at the 15-yard line. Wayne's going to run it for about maybe 3 more yards. But one thing I was going to say, you know, they're looking crisp and solid without arguably their best wide receiver and their best running back who have been out the last couple of weeks. And Mill's probably looking over his shoulder. He said he'll probably want to get back in there because, you know, Wayne has just really looked good. And it's great that we have that depth.
It is, but you know, the thing about Mill is he's able to stay fresh for offense, and that's where we need Mill. Wayne, though, as good as he's been at running back, we need him there right now. But I would argue that he's potentially more impactful on the defensive side of the ball, and so you have to keep a guy like him healthy.
Second down, 7 yards to go, 8:15 and counting. Blaine pumps, end zone, pass, a little overthrown that time. That'll stop the clock with 8 minutes and 9 seconds to play in the ball game. Live from Farragut, where will we be next week, Alex Myers?
We will be over in Maryville and in Blount County. There's a flag, and we'll see what the call is. I think it's against Oak Ridge. I'm guessing it's holding, so they'll replay second down after backing Oak Ridge up on second down. But funniest thing I've ever seen at Maryville. I went there, I think it was when we were filming there one time, and I go down to the concession stand and I see an elderly gentleman, not quite as old as Mike, but an elderly gentleman walking around, and he's got a hat on, and it says M-U-R-V-U-L.
Yeah, well, if you're from there, that's how you pronounce it. So not as old as Mike?
Not quite.
Okay. Second down, 17 yards to go. He always says we're hard on him. But
I think he's probably accurate.
Blaine has all day, might run, might pass. He's going to run, and he got bumped out of bounds pretty hard, but he's out of bounds at the 24.
He was bumped out of bounds, but the player that bumped him fell to the turf. So Blaine, Coach talked about it last week, he's kind of rocked up a little bit, meaning he's gained quite a bit of weight and muscle between last season and this season, and I think it's helped him with his durability. And we've seen last week he's become a little bit more of a willing runner, and he's a sturdy guy. He's a senior, and he's certainly built like a guy who's spent several years in a row in the weight room.
I'll be here to talk to like Coach Branson and Coach Pace about, because Kevin's yelling down the plays to him, and they have to signal it in really quick. I'd be eager to see if they get nervous about that, because as the Wildcats have it, third down and 18 yards to go, Blake Blaine back to pass across the way. Pass is caught inside the 10-yard line at the 9. It'll be 4th down facing the Wildcats. 4th and about 4 yards to go. For first, 7:50 to play in the ball game. The Wildcats just 7:45 to play before going 9-0 on the year and setting up that huge ball game next Thursday against the Maryville Rebels. I'm going to have an article in the Oak Ridger about the Maryville. Last time that Oak Ridge and Maryville, actually the last time Oak Ridge actually won a game against Maryville, that was in 1969, I believe, Alex Myers.
Wow.
Yeah, a long time. We haven't played them all that much. Coach Blade lost all 6 games that he coached. That's the last time we played them before 1969.
Yeah, I think Corals was still there during that era.
He was.
That's no shrug to Coach Blade. I mean, there wasn't anybody that was beating Maryville back then.
Only Coach Blade did. Actually, the year before, he won the state championship over. As the play clock ticks down, a timeout is asked for, and the Wildcats will probably bring the field goal unit in. 7 minutes to go in the game, 38-14 Wildcats. We'll take a break. We'll be back to Farragut in 60 seconds.
You want to hear something crazy, David? All 3 of the captains of that 1969 team tested me tonight.
Oh, really?
Tommy Thompson, Ed Hickman, and Jerry Jenkins.
Wow.
Those were the captains of Oak Ridge in 1969.
Well, get him to say that when we come out.
Hall of Fame class. 2005 soccer team in track, Kenny Green. 2004 swimming, Anna Miller. 2012 softball, Bailey Williams. From 1995
I know you don't read the newspaper. I wrote one about the 70. Did you read my article about the 75 team that's in the Oak Ridger today? It's online too in the Oak Ridger about the 75 state championship. Yeah.
2002 track and football, James Thomas.
Not yet.
Who coaches year spans 1977 to 2023, both football and wrestling. The service award inductees will be Michelle Brossett and Richard Tuck. The bank will be Saturday, February 7th, 2026 at 5 o'clock in the high school commons. Congratulations, inductees.
Wildcats going for it on 4th down. Blaine throws it into the end zone. Is caught. Wow. Touchdown, Wildcats. Just threw it up and over, and the Wildcats score once again. Going for it on 4th down. Another Malik Howard touchdown.
That's at least 3 for him on the day. That's Blaine Stansberry's 7th touchdown on the night, his 5th through the air. I know the rest of the games in the state aren't played until tomorrow, but go ahead and let's start the rally chant for Player of the Week, because I can't imagine anybody's going to have a better player. David, it's not often that this early in the game I've already got in my mind who I'm going to interview, but I know 2 guys I'm going to interview right now, and those 2 were involved on that last play.
Here's the kick. It's on its way. It's up, and it's good, and Oak Ridge leads Farragut 45-14. We'll have a running clock for the final part of the ball game. Let's take a break. We'll send it off to our engineer, Brian Bennett, who's going to get a 3-day weekend, at least from us. We'll be back with the Wildcat kickoff in 60 seconds.
Anybody else you'd like to interview and get involved with? Yeah. I usually try to do somebody from the side, but there's not. Defensively, there wasn't. I don't think I've interviewed this year. Yeah. There's just not been like anything. There's just not really been anything that stood out for Oak Ridge. Yeah.
So he's thrown 5 touchdown passes?
I believe so. And then he ran those 2. Surely he's not going to go in for another one now.
They're going to have a running clock. Figures.
Oh.
Eli Pearson's first kick. He's probably getting tired because that one goes to the 1-yard line and returned out to the 26-yard line where the clock will run the rest of the way. 45-14, the Wildcats all over the Admirals.
Yeah, and here come some, not quite like you were suggesting, Mike, wholesale substitutions, but we do have some different substitutions coming in for Oak Ridge. Younger guys getting to play, including Joey Marin-Ship and some others who we'll get in a moment.
First down, 10 yards to go for Farragut. The ball at their own 26-yard line, 6:11 to play. Quarterback hands it to the back, and he is tackled right at the 30 to 31-yard line. Blake Woody there on the stop for the Wildcats, a member of our prep radio crew. Wildcats headed for their 9th straight win, and they'll be hosting a first-round playoff game at Blankenship Field because of it.
Blake Woody in there along with Josiah McClure, Jeremiah Strickland, and it looks like Zaire Oliver as well at cornerback.
5:39 to play in the ball game. Hobson back to pass, fires a pass, caught, then dropped. Good hit again by the Wildcats. That's the freshman, I believe, McClure, who made the hit. You know who his brother is, Alex Myers.
Would that be Jeremiah Hall?
Well, yeah, that's his brother. That's his brother, former Wildcat. Saw him, where did I see him? I think at one of your boys' club function, actually at Blankenship Field.
Probably, yeah.
Third down, 4 yards to go. The ball at the 32-yard line. Hand off to the back, and he stutter steps his way forward. Powell pushes forward. I think he's going to be right at the sticks for a first down. That's not where the ball is exactly, but that's where the first down is signaled, and it'll be first down Admirals. All of our touchdowns tonight sponsored by the class of 1989. Chris Corwin, that whole group. I mean, that pavilion is an awesome thing to see, and that 89 group is very, very active.
Yeah.
Here's the pass once again, trying to get outside. Nice form tackle by the Wildcats. And is that the freshman once again? Yeah, it is.
That's the freshman, and they list Josiah, who you can talk more to it. He's a great baseball player from everything I understand. He's 5'9", 156 is what they list him. He just brought down with ease Aaron Hetherly, the junior, who's 6'3", 225.
Gain of 2 on the play. Second down, 8 yards to go. Who did he bring down? Second down, 8. Hobson to pass, has time, goes long. Pass is up for grabs and caught. Another nice play by that receiver. And it is first down, 10 yards to go for Farragut.
And pretty good coverage by Zaire Oliver that time. Just, I'll tell you what, when they've given him time, which hasn't been often, but this quarterback throws a really pretty nice touch on the deep ball.
First down, 10 yards to go. Doesn't go for much. We're down to 3:36 to play. Who are you going to interview there, Alex?
I think we're going to obviously interview Malik and talk with Blaine, and then potentially somebody, maybe a JT Gormley on the defensive end. But I'll say this, their quarterback, Hobson, I think just pure talent-wise, he's one of the best quarterbacks I've seen all year, just from a pure physical trait.
He's going to throw it into the end zone. Passes a little bit out of reach, and it's incomplete. And the clock continues to run. 45-14. The Wildcats will go 9-0. The Wildcats will go 33-18 all time against the Farragut Admirals. And this is kind of a short series. This is the 51st time they played, but the series did not start until 1977, which, we've had a lot of them go way on farther back, but we played them several times, twice in the same year with the playoffs. So as the Admirals have it, third down, 7 yards to go. Ball is at the 15-yard line. Hobson across the way, pass is incomplete.
Oh.
And they're all going to call a flag here. And
yeah, I don't know about that one. And before I go down, I was getting ready to, my seat's backed up. I was getting ready to go towards the sideline. But when you talk about some historic matchups, my favorite Oak Ridge Farragut game, this could be a Fats Barbecue. What's Alex's favorite? Without a doubt, 2005. The Goldmeyer game, I was in the stands, I was eating popcorn. It was so cold, but what a game and what an individual performance that was.
Yeah, and Jeff Courtney is unfortunately for Jeff, is the guy that Spencer kind of took a tour of Blankenship Field with. He's the head coach now, the Farragut Admirals.
You're right.
And Mike Sheehan's going to join me now as they're going to run it into the end zone. That's a touchdown for Farragut, and that will stop the running clock with 1:55 to play. So touchdown, Farragut, and the crowd goes wild. They had a great crowd on hand here as Alex is heading down there. Farragut stops the running clock with 1:55 to play. Mike?
You know, they just really, there's no quit in the Admirals. There never has been. And that time they drove it all the way down the field on the Wildcats. And you know, they're still playing tough. They're not giving up. But it's, you know, a foregone conclusion that the Wildcats are going to win this game up 45-20. And the extra point forthcoming. It's up and good.
Thanks a lot, Mike. The Wildcat lead is 45-21. We will have the running clock stop now, so the Wildcats will go on offense. 1:55 to play in the ball game. Oak Ridge will go 9-0 in about a little less than 2 minutes. But first, we're going to take a timeout, send it back to Brian Bennett. We'll be back with the Admiral kickoff in 60 seconds. Here comes the onside kick by Farragut. It's a bounding kick and fielded by Oak Ridge, and the Wildcats will have it at the 46-yard line. The man who recovered it was Adam Washington, who has returned an onside kick this season for a touchdown. Good hands, Adam. The Wildcat offense will come onto the field. They'll start at the 46-yard line of Farragut. Adam's got good hands.
Yes, he's had a good game all night. I'll never forget that one. He returned for a touchdown. They kicked it directly in his hands. He hit it in high gear and left everybody in the dust and scored a touchdown. Very exciting player, Adam Washington. I'm surprised he hasn't had more catches like that during the course of the season, but he's really been great tonight. He's just played outstanding tonight.
From the 46-yard line, the Wildcats, first down, 10 yards to go. Wildcats up 45-21. Wildcats have a new quarterback in the ball game, and I believe that is Kipton Fagan. Kipton's had a really, really fine junior varsity season this year. He's gotten better and better every single ball game. Likes to run the ball, has a very strong arm. He's a baseball guy as well as his brother is, but Kipton's going to be, I guess, the heir apparent next year as our quarterback.
Absolutely. He's a shoe-in for next year without a doubt. He's going to be a really good player for the Wildcats for years to come.
Minute 20 to play in the ball game. Second down, 11 yards to go for Kipton. Receivers left and right. We'll try to check some of these other numbers in the ball game. Kipton, second and 11. Kipton's going to hand it off to Oliver, and Oliver moves the ball across the 45 down to the 43. We're down to a minute to play in the ball game. The Wildcats will host the first round of the TSSAA playoffs in 2 weeks. They, because of this win, can finish no worse than first or second place, and that means they get to host the first round. If they can beat Maryville next week, they will host the first two rounds. That game will be a Thursday night, 7 o'clock kickoff from Maryville High School. We'll hope you'll take the trip across Pellissippi Parkway and support these Wildcats who are looking for their first undefeated season, regular season, since 2014.
Yeah, that's a big accomplishment right there. They certainly played much better than I thought they would when the season started. I'm super proud of this team, David. They've just played outstanding all year.
The Wildcats are going to be having a fourth down play, but that play is ending this ball game. The final seconds are ticking down. The Wildcats have defeated the Farragut Admirals by a final score of 45-21. The two teams walking to the center of the field to shake hands. Wildcats are 9-0 on the year. Mike, your thoughts on the win?
Oh, it's just one of the better performances the Wildcats had, especially after the kind of the flatness we had last week at Hardin Valley, to come back tonight and play so well. Everyone played well. The line played well. The defensive backs played really well. Just an overall great performance. Good tackling tonight. And for, the Admirals managed to score 21 points, but for the Wildcats to score 7 different times, 8 counting Eli's field goal, and to come away with a 45-21 victory, just an outstanding performance by the Oak Ridge Wildcats to remain undefeated, 9-0.
We'll have our Laura Lynn Green post-game show coming up in a moment, but first we're going to take a timeout. Oak Ridge wins it 45-21. We'll have player interviews. We'll have Coach Rang. Mike will have the scoring summary. Mark and Sean will have the final stats, and Coach Rang will join us, as I said, as well. Wildcats win it 45-21. Back to Farragut in 2 minutes.
And also as a reminder, after the band performance, please take all the trash with you. Do not leave any trash in the stadium. We appreciate your cooperation. The band will come onto the field in just a few minutes, where we'll welcome them to perform their halftime show. Please stick around to support the mighty Admiral Marching Band.
David Clary back here along with Alex Myers, Mike Sheehan, Miles Bergen, Preston Fetters, Caleb Jackson, Grayson Brown, and David Urbanowitz. The Wildcats win the ball game 45-21. Let's go down to the field to Alex Myers, who will start our post-game show with some post-game interviews. Alex?
Thank you, David. We're down here on the sideline with JT Gormley. We were told that we had to get off the field pretty quickly tonight, so we're going over the sounds of the Farragut Admiral Band. I'm started off here with JT Gormley, linebacker. JT, this season it's been a journey for you, no question. You started off with high hopes, and pretty immediately in that first game had the injury. You had to fight and claw your way back. You've been back for a couple weeks now. First and foremost, welcome back. How good does it feel to be back out there with your brothers?
It feels great, being from the sideline, just watching everybody succeed, and not being able to be as much of a part of that as I would have wanted to be, and it's really great to be back.
You're back, and you're as good as ever. Tonight you were all over the field. I didn't think, you guys didn't really have a bunch of turnovers. There wasn't anything crazy, but to me, what stood out as a defense, you guys were consistent all night long. I know there was a late touchdown late, but to a quarterback and a receiver combo who obviously have big play capability, I thought you guys held up really well all night. What did you think about your defense's performance?
Yeah, I thought it was very good. You know, being a short week, being on a Thursday, we didn't have much time to prepare, but we stuck to the basics. We worked together, and we ended up on top in the end.
9-0, and I know obviously you guys are now still in contention for the region championship with a big game against Maryville a week from tonight. But I'm not sure if you knew this or not, but congratulations as a senior. With tonight's victory, you did, with 100% certainly, secure at least one home playoff game. So you guys and your brothers get to go back to Blankenship at least one more time.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations, JT. Great game tonight. Oak Ridge, again, big-time victory over Farragut tonight.
Thank you very much.
Next up, Blaine Stansberry. Blaine, I'm not sure. You usually probably wouldn't have known. I'm not sure if Mark Packer and those guys told you your stats. What we had was that you were 13 of 15 at the half for 217 yards. You finished, I think, with 48 rushing yards on 8 attempts. So I think my math's correct. 6 yards a carry. You started the game with 2 rushing touchdowns, and then had 4 passing touchdowns. So 6 total touchdowns. 24 of 26 for 357 yards. It looked like a video game. Did it feel any different than a normal game tonight?
It didn't really. I was just trying to go out there and execute each play, and if it was a bad play, move on from it and just keep executing. So it's just all sort of came at once.
I know in basketball we would say the hoop looked bigger tonight. I don't know if the windows looked bigger or what, but I thought you just looked so comfortable. You weren't really rushed. The offensive line did a really nice job, but I thought one of the things that was so impressive was, we've seen you dial up Will a bunch. We've seen you dial up Malik, and we'll talk to him in a moment. Obviously, you guys had a big night, but whether it was Jarrell, Adam towards the end, Wayne out of the backfield, I thought you dispersed the ball so evenly tonight, and you looked comfortable and confident no matter who you were throwing to.
Yes, sir. I really felt comfortable behind my line, and I really felt comfortable with the different plays that we were running. So all that just added in, and it just felt really easy.
You did seem to run a lot of plays tonight, not just in number, but also in variety. And I don't know if you guys were intentionally putting things on film for Maryville, but it looked like this late in the season, you kind of know Oak Ridge's offense if you've watched them enough and kind of know what to expect. Tonight, it looked like you threw a few more wrinkles in. Was that something you guys had talked about this week in practice?
Not necessarily. We've been working on new plays every week and new shifts and all that, and so I just think it shows how we can display those each game.
Well, we're about to talk to Malik. How much fun is it to play with a guy like that who you can just kind of just say, hey, one-on-one situation, I'm going to throw that thing high and just trust that you can come down and make a play? How much fun is that?
It's really fun, especially when you see, man, I got a guy that's probably better than the other guy, so I can just get it up to him.
Yeah, I'd say more times than not that's a fair thing to say. Hey, last question for you. Obviously, next week's a big game. Coach Rang talked about it at the end. Accepting this challenge, embrace it, becoming confident in yourselves and in your team together. Tell me about what, as a leader, as a senior, what your attitude is this week, and how confident are you in this football team as you're 1 week away from potentially an undefeated regular season?
I think we got to treat it like any other week, and me, myself, the same thing. I just got to keep all the guys coming together and ready to compete each day in practice, and really trying to chase perfection in practice.
Yeah, absolutely. Blaine Stansberry, terrific night. Perfect on all but 2 passes, 24 of 26 for 357 yards. I'm out of breath saying it. Again, 4 touchdowns through the air, 2 on the ground. Great game tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And lastly, we'll talk to Malik Howard. Malik, thanks for being patient. I know everybody's having to run around and talk to 3 or 4 different people. We appreciate you being patient with us. Malik, tonight I think you had, and you'll correct me, I guess, if I'm wrong, I think you had 3 touchdowns through the air tonight. Let's start with that last one. I said it in basketball, it would have been over the back, but in football, they call it getting mossed. I mean, yeah. At what point did you just realize, just take me through that play and what was going on in your mind? Because the defender had you in good position, but in the end, you just were too much.
Yeah, actually, I was out of the game a couple plays before that just to rest a little bit. I was a little banged up. Then Coach Ring called me back in and said, Malik, can you go make a play? And I said, of course, Coach. Went in, lined up. The DB was shaded inside a little bit, and I knew he's not the caliber of player that I am, so I knew from the start that it could have been a touchdown.
I know you're a junior, so you got another year, thankfully, in this program. However, for the seniors, a guy like Blaine, like I just talked to JT, Tim, these guys, tonight, even though you guys were undefeated, you weren't guaranteed to go back to Blankenship. But with winning tonight, not only did you keep your region championship and undefeated season, those hopes alive, but you also secured a game back at Blankenship. So no matter what happens next week, no matter what happens the rest of the region, you guys will at least get to play that first round at Blankenship. How important was that to you guys, you underclassmen and you juniors, to be able to to give those seniors that gift?
It's really important just knowing how much playing at home means to those guys walking down the steps, seeing their families in the crowd is just a big thing. We fought for this game. We're going to continue to fight for it next game. We can get more playoff games at home.
Blane's pretty humble, and he seems like he's been trained in the media on what to say. He doesn't ever give anybody any poster board material, and he's real kind of humble about things. But tonight, to me, he looked different. He had 8 carries for 8 carries for 48 yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. He had 4 touchdowns through the air, and he was 13 of 15 at half and finished with still only 2 completions. It was 24 for 26 for 357 yards. In football, in the pitching world in baseball, you'd say he threw a perfect game. He wasn't perfect technically, but he was about as good as I've ever seen him, and that's saying something in his illustrious career. As a receiver, did you feel like tonight was different, or is it same old Blaine?
Yeah, I could tell just from this week in practice, he got down on himself a little bit. We had some misconnections last week against Hardin Valley, and then we just came to this week with a whole different focus and brought that into the game this weekend.
How confident are you guys? I know Coach was talking about you guys being a confident group and really understanding this moment. What you guys have been working all season for was a culmination of a great regular season with a chance to do something really special that the program hadn't done, which is beat Maryville and secure that region championship a week from tonight. How confident are you, and what do you guys need to do at practice this week to make sure that dream stays alive?
I'm very confident that if we can keep playing the way we do, practice the way we do, and we just keep guys healthy all through this week, that we can take down Maryville like we've done all 9 other teams this season.
Another big night, Malik Cower. Congratulations on another big night and another big win.
Thank you.
And David, we'll keep it right here. Coach, if you want to stay right there, our cameraman, we'll get Coach over here. I appreciate you being patient. I know wanted to get us off the field, so we'll try to wrap this up. But what a game. Blaine, I won't go over all the stats, but he was near perfect tonight. He was 24 of 26 for 357 yards, 4 touchdowns through the air, 2 on the ground. I told Malik in the baseball world, I'd say he threw a perfect game. It was about as close as he could get to perfect. I think personally that might be the best game I've ever seen him play. What did you think about your quarterback tonight?
I would agree. I mean, I felt like the improv is really good right now for him. Like on the first touch, maybe the first touchdown, I can't remember, but like Malik's covered. And then he escapes to the right, eyes downfield, and then we throw the long pass. And, you know, in the past couple games, he's really been doing that. I think he's showing more confidence with his legs and, you know, just pushing the ball forward. And, like, we're at this point now, you know, we're 9th game of the season. That's a great feeling when your quarterback's probably playing the best he ever has. So when you have that peak right now, which is where we need to be, obviously the stats and the play speaks for itself. And to do it on a standalone game, I think our guys, you know, were really excited about it. So, you know, to play on a standalone game, and, you know, I know you guys cover it, and Rivalry Thursday covers it and everything. You want to play good in those situations, and obviously Blaine did that, and we're just super proud of him.
You challenged your team in the post-game conversation on the field at Blankenship last week and basically said it's a standalone game. I wouldn't want to play poorly. Something, maybe not an exact quote, but basically said, I want to play well if all eyes are on me. They took that challenge, and they certainly did that tonight and then some. This week, your challenge was talking about the confidence of this team, rolling into next week with that belief. What do you want to see from your guys in this week of practice before the big game next week?
I mean, like here's the deal. And we have a veteran group. We kind of walked in there Monday. We're like, listen, I like playing on Thursday this time of year. I think it's great because I feel like there's a little bit more of a sense of urgency from everybody. We had a great week of practice Tuesday, so when you prepare well, you generally play well. And the same thing has to happen. Like Tuesday's got to be on point, Wednesday's got to be on point, Monday's got to be on point, and then you got to go to Maryville High School and believe you can win. And I think a lot of the time, you know, like just in general sports, and I'm saying especially at the high school level, you know, a lot of it's a mindset thing. Like, you know, our guys need to go to Maryville High School believing they can win the game. Now, Maryville's going to throw some blows. We're going to throw some blows because we're both really good football teams. But, you know, we got to go down there believing we belong in the game. We do. And let's go win the dang thing. Let's go 10-0. Let's have a great season. Springboard us in the playoffs. You know, but big win tonight, but let's go do it.
Question, you talked about playing the Thursday games. Obviously this week you get a little bit, I don't know how much of an advantage it will be, but a little bit of advantage because while Maryville got to watch you guys live, you guys will obviously get the chance to do that if you choose to tomorrow. But also, you guys, this late in the season, everybody's kind of beat up and banged up. You guys get an extra day of rest going into that game. And then next week, win or loss, both teams are going to get an extra day before the playoffs. So do you think that that's maybe overstated, or do you think that's kind of a legitimate thought there?
I mean, I really don't think so. I think they're high school kids, Alex. I mean, I feel like playing on – I mean, to me, when you get to this point of the season, to me, playing on Thursday is not a big deal. I think it's good because tomorrow we get the, you kind of have our guys got a 3-day weekend, but, when it comes down to it, I mean, Maryville's going to be ready to play. It's going to be on their home field. Obviously, we'll be down there watching them play Bradley Center. That should be an interesting game, because we know how he matched up versus Bradley. So then down at Bradley has to come to Maryville. I think, obviously, in this day and age, there is a big difference in home field advantage. But, I think we just got to play ball. I mean, Alex, if you're going to play on Tuesday or Monday, we got to go ready to play. So, the guys kind of know how to play at this time of the season. We just got to – I think it goes back to focus and execution. That's what we challenged them to do tonight is, how many – don't let Farragut don't let Oak Ridge beat Oak Ridge. Like, make Farragut beat Oak Ridge. Don't beat ourselves. And we really did that.
The fact of the matter is the way you guys played tonight and have played most of the season, there's not a lot of teams that can beat you if you don't beat yourself. Coach, congratulations. You challenged your team. They responded, and now you're still perfect on the season. How about them, Cats?
Yep, thank you. Roll Wildcats, roll. Yeah.
Thank you so much, David. Clary, back up to you.
Thanks a lot, Alex. As the Farragut band plays, you've got the scoring summary.
Thank you very much, David. The Wildcats started this game off very well. The Wildcats drove an 85 from the 15-yard line. They drove 85 yards to the touchdown, where Blaine Stansbury from 9 yards out ran it in for the first score of the night. The Wildcats went up 6-0. Then Eli Pearson came in, kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Wildcats took the early lead 7-0. And then with only 27.9 seconds left in the first quarter, Blaine Stansbury ran another 5 yards for a touchdown, and the Wildcats went up 13-0. Eli Pearson's kick was again good, and the Wildcats led after the first quarter 14-0. Then with 9 minutes and 37 seconds into the second quarter, the quarterback Corbin Hobson for the Farragut Admirals threw a 28-yard pass to Max Garfield and put the Admirals on the board 14-6. The extra point was good by Ryan McHugh, and the Wildcats' lead was cut 14-7. Then, with 7 minutes and 35 seconds still left in the first half, Blaine Stansbury threw a beautiful pass to Malik Howard right in the middle of the field. Malik took it down the sideline, outran everybody to the end zone from 79 yards out. The Wildcats went up 20-7. Then Eli Pearson came in for the third time of the night and kicked the ball between the uprights, and it was good. And then with tremendous clock management by the Oak Ridge Wildcats, they drove the ball down to the 20-yard line, where Eli Pearson attempted a 37-yard field goal with 4.8 seconds left, and the Wildcats led at the half when the kick was good, 24-7. And then the Farragut Admirals came out pretty strong in the third quarter, opening up with a score. Corbin Hobson threw a 58-yard touchdown pass to Max Garfield, and the Admirals had 13 to Oak Ridge's 24. The kick by Ryan McHugh was good again, and the Admirals trailed the Wildcats 24-14, a 10-point lead, but didn't last very long, because with 5 minutes and 47 seconds left still in the third quarter, Blaine Stansbury threw a beautiful 31-yard pass to Jarrell Jimerson, and the Wildcats went up 30-14. And then with 11:50 left in the fourth quarter, Blaine Stansbury threw another touchdown pass to Malik Howard from 18 yards out, and the Wildcats went up 37-14. And then Eli Pearson came in and kicked it between the uprights for the sixth time of the night, and the Wildcats led comfortably 38-14. And then with 6 minutes and 54 seconds left in the third quarter, Malik Howard came in again, took a great route into the corner of the end zone, went way up over the defender and caught a 19-yard touchdown pass. And the Wildcats went up 44-14. Then Eli Pearson came in, kicked the ball between the uprights, and the Wildcats led 45-14. Then with only a minute and 55 seconds left in the game, Charlie Noble for the Farragut Admirals ran it in from 7 yards out, and the Farragut Admirals scored for the last time of the night. It was 45-20. Then Ryan McCure came in and kicked the ball between the uprights, and the final score, Oak Ridge 45, Farragut Admirals 21.
Thanks a lot, Mike. I appreciate that. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Mark will run down the final stats. The Wildcats do win it 45-21. That is the final score here from Farragut. The Wildcats taking on the Maryville Rebels next week. That'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff at Maryville High School. Take a quick break. We'll be back with the final stats following this 60-second timeout.
Marquez back here at Farragut High School, where Oak Ridge is victorious tonight by a final score of 45-21. Looking at the statistics for the game, Oak Ridge led on the ground by Wayne Gibson. He had 93 yards on 23 carries. That's an average 4 yards per carry. His long was 12 yards. Blaine Stansberry, quarterback for the Wildcats, he had 46 yards on 8 carries. That's an average of 5.8 yards per carry. His long was 10 yards. Zaire Oliver came in late for the Wildcats. He had 3 carries, totaling 2 yards. So on the ground as a team, the Wildcats rushed the ball 34 times, gaining 141 yards on the ground. Through the air, the Wildcats, very successful. Blaine Stansberry, starting quarterback for the Wildcats, he was 24 of 26 for 357 yards. His long tonight was 72 yards. Also, with a pass tonight with Jarrell Jimerson, he was 1 of 1 for 51 yards. That pass being to Adam Washington. Receiving tonight, they were led by Jarrell Jimerson. He had 160 yards on 11 receptions. Malik Howard, 145 on 8 receptions. Adam Washington, 2 receptions for 73 yards. Zayden Williams, 2 receptions for 17 yards. And Wayne Gibson, 2 receptions for 13 yards. So as a team, the Wildcats had 141 yards on the ground on 34 carries. That's an average of 4.1 yards per carry. They had 25 completions on 27 attempts for 408 yards for a total offense tonight of 549 yards. Wildcats had 24 first downs in the ballgame. They were penalized 9 times for 103 yards. Now looking at Farragut, they were led on the ground by number 14, Nathan Jacobs, 12 carries for 46 yards. Charlie Noble came in late for the Admirals. He had 5 carries for 25 yards. And then their quarterback, Corbin Hobson, 3 carries for -4 yards. So as a team, the Admirals rushed the ball 20 times, gaining 67 yards on the ground. That's an average of 3.4 yards per carry. Through the air, quarterback for the Admirals, Corbin Hobson, He was 8 of 21 for 173 yards. Receiving for the Admirals, they were led by Max Garfield, 3 receptions for 137 yards. Anderson Glover had a 20-yard reception. Nathan Jacobs with 2 receptions for 9 yards. And Aaron Heatherly, 2 receptions for 7 yards. So as a team, Admirals had 67 yards on the ground. They had 173 through the air for a total offense of 240 total offensive yards in the ballgame. They did have 12 first downs in the ballgame, exactly half of the Wildcats. They were penalized 2 times for 20 yards. So I don't believe they had any penalties in the second half. Different story for the Wildcats. So looking at the teams side by side, Oak Ridge rushing yards 141, Farragut 67. Passing yards, Oak Ridge with an impressive 408, Farragut 173. Total offense, Oak Ridge with 549 total offensive yards tonight, Farragut 240. First downs, Oak Ridge had 24, Farragut 12. Penalties, Oak Ridge 9 penalties for 103 yards, Farragut 2 penalties for 20 yards. Time of possession, very similar to last week. Oak Ridge almost with 30 minutes on the clock. They had 29 minutes and 56 seconds. Farragut 18 minutes and 4 seconds. Again, Oak Ridge victorious tonight by a final score of 45-21. David?
Thanks a lot, Mark. That about does it for us here at Farragut High School. Our next broadcast of Oak Ridge High School ball will be Thursday night when the Wildcats play their final regular season ball game against the Maryville Rebels. That'll be a 7 o'clock kickoff. We'll have the broadcast on FM 92.7. FM 94.7. We'll stream the game live on our YouTube channel, Prep Radio. We appreciate our camera people tonight, Preston Fetters, along with Grayson Brown, along with Caleb Jackson, and I'm forgetting somebody, David Urbanowitz. We appreciate Miles Bergen as well, Mark and Shauna Haste, Mike Sheehan, and Alex Myers. Brian Bennett back in the studios of FM 92.7. Once again, the final score, the Wildcats win at 45-21. Until Thursday night, next Thursday, this is David Clary saying so long, everybody.